Good afternoon, everyone. My name
Hi,
is
Jackie.
Jackie Pasley, and I'd like to extend a very warm welcome from Kingston, Jamaica. We have a very exciting and interesting session lined up for you today, and you can see our presenter on the screen in front of you. She's ready and raring to go.
Ready
But
to
before we
go.
start, we want to take some administrative matters and housekeeping matters. Get those out of the way before we actually start. Yesterday we had an amazing session, and today promises to be just as good. You are in the session, social media management for creative, and today's session is going to be an exciting one. So just to tell you a little bit about the program, Kingston Creative, Fresh Milk, and the American Friends of Jamaica partnered to create this amazing opportunity for Caribbean creatives. The name of the initiative is Catapult, and the digital creative training is one initiative in the Catapult program. A little bit later, I'll tell you a little bit more about some of the other programs or the other modules in the digital creative training program. So if you haven't already signed up for some of the other sessions or the other courses, I'm going to invite you to do just that at the end of the program. So if you'll allow me, I'd like to share my screen so we could talk through just some of the things that we are going to be observing today so that we have a very smooth and seamless session as we share with you today. Now, some persons have already picked up that they're not able to speak, or their mics doesn't appear to be working, or they're not on screen. And I just want to say that that is intentional. We want for everybody to maximize the benefit that they'll get from today's session. And so what we are going to do today is we're going to ask you to use the raise hand feature, the chat feature, the Q&A feature to put the many questions that you will have and the many comments that you will share, and we will acknowledge those accordingly. We do have session breaks because we want to know that you stay refreshed and hydrated for the session. And a little bit later, when our facilitator joins, she will tell you a little bit more about the break times. There are two forms that we're going to ask you to complete. The first one is the feedback form, very important form, because what this does is it gives us an insight on what are some of the things that we are doing well as we bring these sessions to you, and some of the things that we need to do a little differently in order to improve our overall delivery in these sessions. And so at the end of the training, I will place a link into the chat that will allow you access to complete this form. The other link that I will add in the chat at the end of the session is the link to answer to a quiz. 5 tiny itsy bitsy questions, very easy questions. We're going to ask you to complete that quiz using the link that I will place in the chat at the end of the session. And also, just to say that this session is 3 hours long. The facilitator will share with you during these 3 hours. And at the end of the 3 hours, we are going to enable your mics, and you will be able to network across, not just with the facilitator who will still be in the session, but also with fellow attendees. You may very well find that there are common interests between yourselves and other persons in the session, and this is a great opportunity for you to reach out to persons that are in the session as well. We will be issuing a certificate at the end of this training. We encourage you to do the quiz and do it well, because that will determine the type of certificate that you get. And so we anticipate that we will all also have fun while we are here. We know that from previous sessions that this session is going to be very, very, very great, and that it's going to be fun, and people are going to be really engaged and very exciting. And we know that that will only happen if you put your questions in and you put your comments as well. So we look forward to seeing those. And so without further ado, I'm going to hand you over to our facilitator, Miss Kadia Francis, who is being supported today by her partner, business partner, Miss Monique McIntosh. She will share a little bit about herself and her business partner before she starts the presentation. Over to you, Kadia. Thank you.
All right. Why do I feel like Jackie is setting me up?
You never
Jackie,
fail. You never fail.
thank you.
You always do well.
Jackie says it's going to be a brilliant session, and I'm over here going, no pressure, Jackie, no pressure, no pressure. All
It's
right.
usually good.
Thank you so much. Our sessions are usually good because we put a lot into creating our workshops. So good morning, everyone, all 40 out of you. Thank you so much for showing up this morning. My name is Kadia Francis, and I am the co-founder. I'm looking here. I'm supposed to be looking here. I'm the co-founder of the Digital Disruption Agency. It's a online skills training hub, and well, our official title is that we are a digital skills training and resource hub for Caribbean nationals. Right? So that means we create all sorts of workshops, and we try to be as inclusive as possible. So we try to create workshops for a wide variety of persons that some of us don't think about when we think digital, like seniors, adults over a particular age, teenagers, persons with disabilities, persons in our correctional facilities. So we do workshops for everybody because we believe that digital literacy is what we call a transversal skill, meaning it cuts across all lines. No matter what you do, you need some kind of digital, you need to have a basic understanding at least of digital platforms. All right. Where we predict that sometime not too long from now, digital skills is going to be as compulsory or as necessary as math and English. So that is how integral technology now is to our everyday lives. So right in the midst of the pandemic, and I'm just give me 2 minutes. So right in the midst of the pandemic, I literally quit my 9 to 5 and decided that I was gonna do this, the skills training, because I knew what the situation was in Jamaica. We're not a tech culture, we're not a digital culture, and that's true for most of the Caribbean, right? We're very traditional in the way we do things. We're very paper based in our business operations, etc. So when the pandemic came, there was this mad rush for everybody to get online because business needs to continue. I was like, okay, we were already doing training individually. And then Monica and I met through Kingston Creative while we were doing, um, oh, that's not for me. While we were doing the creative boot camp that Kingston Creative did back in May. And that's kind of how we met up, and we have partnered to create this digital training agency, and we have completed almost 12 training sessions so far, countless innumerable presentations, talk, panelist discussions, podcast interviews, because now everybody wants to know about digital. How can you get online, be visible, establish yourself in that space? And usually when people think digital, what is the first thing that comes to mind? Social media. No, I'll be the first one to say social media is not digital. Social media is just a small part of digital, right? So we have so many digital platforms, but what are the common ones that you know about? Websites, email, mobile applications, software. There's so many different types of digital platforms, and because technology is always evolving. Today, one thing is extremely popular. Tomorrow, old news. We're already looking at ways to improve on what we did yesterday. So technology. So in the Caribbean, we're talking about technological revolution. The revolution happened all the way back in 1948. Right? We are literally now in the, like how we had the industrial revolution, we're now in the technological revolution. And it started way back in the 1940s, and then in the 1970s when we had personal computers came into the market. No, I will go nerd on you with this, so let me quickly move past that. And all of that just to say that in the Caribbean, we're really now starting to understand why technology is so it's such a big deal, why our lives have been so affected by this thing, and why we need to get savvy about going into the online space and dominating, because we can. Why? We have certain advantages that other places don't have. For instance, we have a linguistic advantage. We do, for the most part, well, the post-colonial Caribbean, we speak English for the most part. We're right in everybody's backyard right here. We have a we're very central in terms of geographically. We're central. And our culture, we have such a vibrant, rich culture in the arts, literature. We are known for that in this region. Why not be able to go online and sell that to the world and earn? And that's what we are kind of here to do with DDA. So today's training, we're going to be looking at social media and how you as a creative can inject your culture, your personality, your language into your social media space to help you build community, to help you um generate leads for your products and services, and ultimately to help you with the sales, because really nobody is going online, especially as a business person, as a creative, to idle. You're really going on there to see how you can actually make some money, how you can earn a living from your talent and your skills, right? So let me bring up my slides. Right. My business partner Monique is in the chat. Hey Monique. And she's going to be answering some of the questions in the chat. She's going to be fielding questions from the Q&A. And we don't do boring over here. We like lively interactive sessions. We want to know what your actual problems are, and if we can address them in the sessions, we'll try. So we will invite you on to talk to us, to tell us what you've been struggling with social media, and we can see if we can walk you through some of the strategies and tactics and tools and stuff that you can use. So please feel free to ask questions, feel free to share whatever your issues are, and Monique will answer, and from in intervals she'll put you on and we'll all have a discussion. Okay, let's try and help each other. All right, so this is the little intro that comes with my thing. All right, so let's start with social media basics. So, modern communication platforms that allows users to instantly share content, build networks, and form virtual communities. That's what social media platforms are. So let's break down this definition. Modern communication platforms allow users to instantly share content, build networks, and form virtual communities. All right. So what do we mean by communications? So technology has really shifted the way we communicate with people. Now you can talk to somebody on a cell phone, you can do an instant message. In fact, now with voice over IP services, you can use your phone or other device to actually call somebody through one of these instant messaging apps. So whether it's WhatsApp or Facebook Messenger, you can actually communicate, do voice communications through these platforms as well. And you'll notice how these platforms are integrated into social media platforms as well. So on Instagram, you can send somebody a voice message. On Twitter, you can send somebody a text DM. In fact, for most of these platforms, you either have the capacity to send an SMS or a voice or some kind of voice communication, right? I should have highlighted modern, because by modern, what they really mean is online, because that's what we tend to talk about when we talk about modern in relation to technology. We're talking about the ability to do this in a centralized location that's usually run on the web somewhere, right? Instantly, meaning that you can literally pick up the phone right now and call your relative in England, Japan, wherever in the world they are, and talk to them right now. Now, that is something that is amazing, because if you can think of back in the day when you literally had to send a telegram, and that telegram took a couple days to reach where it was going, and then that person had to send it back. Communication could take all up to a month for you to send one message. Send help. A month. By the time the message come out, the person's dead. I'm just kidding. But you see what I'm getting at, right? So it allows you to instantaneously communicate your thoughts, your ideas, your viewpoints, unfortunately, your opinions, even more unfortunately, about certain things, right? And you can share that content, because all of that, opinions, ideas, all of that is content. Once you're putting it out there, it becomes content now for the internet, right? And later on, we're going to really look at what is content, because I think that confuses some people. They think it has to be this big, elaborate thing, when content could be a simple hi, hello, how are you? A simple tweet. It could be a simple video of you doing something. Content can be anything, right? And then networks. So social media is a great place for you to find people that share the same job, or in the same field or industry, the same ideas, the same values, the same everything that you do, are similar to what you do. So you like Harry Potter. I happen to like Harry Potter. Slight nerd over here. You like Harry Potter. I can tell you that there's a Harry Potter podcast that has millions of subscribers and get millions of downloads every month. You like food. I happen to, one of my favorite pastime is to go on YouTube and watch Chinese people cook food. I don't know, ASMR, I guess. You like seeing stuff cleaned. You know, I happen to also like car detailing videos on YouTube. In fact, you know what videos I really like on YouTube? The videos of creative people doing what it is that they do best. So people sculpting, people drawing, people cooking, people, I think that's why I really like those videos. So, and then you can build networks with these people if they share the same interest. I'll give you an example. So you are a filmmaker. That's what you do. That's your creative space, right? And you want to learn more about filmmaking. You want to break into certain industries, maybe break into certain markets. And you go on Twitter and you find the person who made Marvel, who does films for Marvel, and you start communicating with that person, and that person puts you onto another person. Before you know it, you're on a filmmakers or animated filmmakers list on Twitter, and you're having all these other conversations and networking, and a project comes up and they're looking for minority, wink wink, persons on a project because Black Lives Matter. Yeah. And they go, oh, remember that black guy from Trinidad that contacted us? Yeah, he's really good. I've seen some of his work. You need to call him. Boom, your Twitter network is working for you. So social media also gives you the ability to network, and that network can be seriously beneficial if you're actively growing and building relationships within that network. Now, the other one is virtual, and virtual just means online and communities. Some of the biggest communities in the world are digital, they're online. Okay. Why? Because again, the digital space is so huge and people are so strange. You have some strange people in the world. You have people who have all sorts of fetishes. You have people who are interested in the most weirdest things. Like recently I came across a video of somebody who, it's called mycology, the study of mushrooms, and I spent about 3 hours watching this person talking about mushrooms. Communities online are so important for a lot of people, especially now during COVID time. So all of this is what social media affords you the ability to do for free, for the most part, for free, with no real obligations to you to do anything. You decide not to post on social media, nobody's going to come and arrest you for it, right? So you have the freedom and you have the creative space to do what it is that you want to do on social media. But if you're going on social media because you want to build a business and you want to sell your amazing art, or sell your amazing piece of jewelry that you made, or sell your software, because people who create tech are creatives. Thanks to Anja Dempster Chung from Kingston Creative was the person who told me that. If you want to be able to do that, that's what you love, that's your passion, and that's how you want to earn a living, then you're going to have to know, as Monique says, get serious about digital. And the first place, even though it's not the only space, but the first place to start is with social media. But before you even sign up for an account, before you even decide, say, all right, I'm going to go on Instagram or I'm going to go on Twitter, you need a strategy. You need a plan. You need to have some identifiable goals and objectives that you're trying to reach for getting online. Otherwise, you're going to be like this lady here, just floating in a sea of devices and social media platforms. No rudder. You're not sure where you're going. You're not sure what you're doing. You're just a try a thing, as Jamaicans say. We're trying a thing, and social media is throwing everything at it and seeing what sticks. That takes time. It's frustrating, and it's annoying for persons who are following your social media. I can just say that from now, right? So you need a plan to make sure that your social media is working the way you need it to work for you. All right. So what a solid strategy or plan will do for you is that it not only takes into account social media but the entire digital landscape, and then once you're looking at it from this broad step back position, you can see, okay, what are the other platforms that I can incorporate with social media to make sure that social media is actually working for me. Yes, social media on its own, not as effective, but social media coupled with other platforms like websites, email, and all of that good stuff, now social media opens up. Because guess what, you don't own your social media space, it's renting, you're catching in people yard, pretty much. Right. Instagram is the landlord, you are the tenant. They can kick you out at any time. Imagine building a following of 20,000, even 5,000 people, and you get up tomorrow morning and your account is suspended because of some obscure rule that you supposedly have broken that they can't even tell you about either. You know what I mean? What happens? Your life is over. Everything has ended. God is going to come. Whereas if you had these other tools, your website was up, your email was up, and your other spaces were optimized, you could literally just transfer until you're able to get the other things sorted. All right. So, oh, okay. So that is what I'm talking about when we're talking about making sure that you have a rounded strategy, a rounded plan, at the center of which is social media, sure, but social media is not the only part of it. All right. So let's look at social media marketing. The use of content on these social channels or networks to promote something, your art, your sculpture, your video, your music, whatever it is that you do. Um, but not only to promote yourself, because then you're promoting yourself for a reason. You're promoting yourself because you want to build brand awareness. You want to build brand recognition. You want to build brand authority. You want people to know you're in the space. You want people to be able to recognize you in the space. And you want people to be able to know that you're talented in the space, you're one of the best at what you do. So that's really what brand awareness, recognition, and authority means, right? But after you've done that, then what? After everybody know who you are and you're very popular, what do you want them to do after that? You want to capture these people who love you and who want to support you. You want to be able to capture them. And these are now persons that we call leads, people who are interested in what you do, people who want to support what you do, whether because what you do benefits them in some way, shape, or form, or whether it's a comfort or necessity or convenience for them. Because there's this idea going around now, especially in COVID time, that if your business is not providing comfort, necessity, or convenience, then you're going to have a more difficult time than others recovering from COVID. However, as a creative, you squarely fall in the comfort area there too. And there's also an argument to be made about convenience, but you're trying to capture these people who'd be interested in what it is that you do, leads, and then you're trying to filter them into a sales funnel, right? And a sales funnel is really, you guys know how a funnel is shaped. It's V at the top, and then you have the small funnel part at the bottom. Right. So you're throwing all of these people who come across your brand, who come across you on social media, into that funnel. into the funnel. So, and you know that at the top of the funnel is the widest. It's the widest part at the top of the funnel. So everybody goes in the top of the funnel. But then they're now coming through. They're filtering through, filtering on, filtering on, filtering on. Now, the persons who come out at the bottom of your funnel, that's where sales happen. Right at the bottom of your funnel is where your people actually start now purchasing. So they've come across your brand, they have made a decision, they've seen your offer, they've made a decision about it, they've bought it, they're now your customers, and at the end you're still entertaining them because you want them to buy it again, right? So you don't just buy one time and done. You want them to buy again. So you talk about retention. So at the very bottom of your funnel is sales and then retention. All right, so that's what we mean by a robust sales funnel. Now, a robust sales funnel take into account not just social media. Again, even though you're using social media to market your goods and services or your products or your art or whatever, you also need to send them to somewhere else. So whether you're sending them to your website where you can do the hard sell, or we're going to talk about hard sell versus soft sell right after this, where you can really like hit them with your sales pitch and everything and tell them all the benefits of this wonderful thing that you made and how beautiful, and the color that you used was from the turtle shell of the turtle of East India. I don't know, right? So you're telling them all the amazing things you're able to do with this piece and how this piece will look really nice in them living room or whatever. Hard sales pitch over there, right? So it's that you're either doing that on your website or you're doing that through your email, because now you have them personal information and you can directly communicate with them on email, or you're sending them to your store, which at this point you should not be sending anybody to our storefront. But in regular normal times, your storefront is also one of the places that you can filter these people to, because now you can, or your art gallery or your showpiece or whatever, because now they can see a wider array of things that you sell or stuff that you make, etc. So all of these things come together as a part of your sales funnel. But there are certain things that you need to know about social media marketing. You need to understand certain terminologies, right? Because now that this thing has popped up, that a whole language has popped up around social media and digital, and you hear it sometimes and you're going, what? So we're gonna address the what right now, okay? So the first thing that you need to know about social media is, what is digital media? What are the different types of digital media? So, and digital media, by the way, is content. Yeah, we're really talking about content, right? And we as in digital marketers have separated it out into 3 types of media, right? Just like how you have visual media, audio, as part of media, we've separated out content or into 3 groups, categories of digital media. So it's not types or formats, but categories of digital media for social media. Yes. And what digital media does, content, is, as I said before, generate awareness for the brand, it boosts engagement on your page, and generate traffic to your other platforms, whether it's your social media platforms or your email or your website or your mobile application or your instant messenger, wherever your central location is, right? So let's look at, so we've already talked about awareness, but let's look at engagement. No. When you are, it's not just, I'll go make a nice little video and put it on Instagram and then you go about your business. That's not how it works on social media. It's called social for a reason. People expect you to engage. So if I come across, say you make necklaces, and I come across your social media page, you maybe use a hashtag that I'm following, or somebody in your community reshared it, however the reason, however the method I came. And by the way, guys, you need to have a very clear understanding of where people are coming from, as in, where are they finding you, how are they getting to your space. But that's for a whole nother workshop, right? And I come across your page, but your page is private. Why would you private your page that you are selling your art or selling your stuff on, or your personal branded page? Why would that be private? or it's not private, but there are no prices in your caption. I don't know how much the necklace is for. I don't know what are the materials that make up the necklace. I don't know. I don't know anything about it. You're just showing me a pretty picture of your necklace. I mean, that's cute, and I may give it a like, but I'm not gonna buy it because I don't know nothing about you and your necklace. Or in the captions, you're telling me DM you for price. No, I'm not. No, because I don't have time for you and that foolishness. So is that they're going to tell me the price where I can, is that they're going to put the information where I have access to it, or I'm going to go about my business and go talk to somebody who's serious, right? So that's what we mean by engagement. Somebody goes on and somebody say, oh, I like this necklace, is really pretty. You know, say thanks. You know, say thanks for visiting my page. You know, say, oh yeah, and you know, we have it in different colors according to your birthstone color. No communication, no nothing at all. No acknowledgement. That's not how social media work. If you're shy and you're uncomfortable with engaging people, social media might not be the space for you, because hyper engagement is what works on social media. Okay, so you have to be constantly checking who is communicating with you, who is engaging with you. And these social media platforms actually shows you who are the persons that are communicating with you on a regular basis. If you're on Instagram tell you who followed you last, how, and Instagram gives you, categorize your followers into two: regular followers and dormant followers. I don't think it says dormant, but I know it says regular followers. So you can know the persons who are communicating with you regularly. So now it's up to you to make sure that you're also engaging with them, because reciprocity is the name of the game on social media. If I'm coming to your page every day and I'm liking all your art and liking all your joints and liking on it, and not one time, not a one time did you think to go on my page and give me back a follow, or like something, or comment something, or even share my post in your stories, you're going to be losing people, because you're not being social. You're not reciprocating the love that I'm showing you on your page. All right. Also, the next word you need to know is traffic. And by generating traffic, we mean getting people to move through the different digital spaces that you have, and get to the central location where you're actually trying to close the sale. That could be social media, because you can sell on social media. If you're in certain countries, certainly Instagram allows you to open up a shop on Instagram platforms. And there's a reason, you know, why social media platforms are becoming so much more business-like, why they're rolling out so much more business tools. Because COVID happened and they're realizing that, oh wow, lots of businesses are going online. Why? Because lots of people are turning to the digital space to access goods and services. So now you have these social media platforms realizing that there's even more money to be made, and now they're rolling out these features. So it's for you to utilize your platforms, optimize your platforms to be able to use these features to drive traffic and ultimately sales. All right, so let's look now at the categories of digital media. So you have what we called owned media. Now, owned media is content that you're generating internally. You make it. You go on Canva and you build up your nice little pretty picture. Or if you're like me, who don't know nothing about Photoshop and really don't care to learn anything about Photoshop, but you still want to create nice looking pretty graphics, PowerPoint. Literally, I kid you not, PowerPoint. Yeah. So I go into my PowerPoint and I set up my templates and I make my little pretty graphics and I put that out. I own that content. That content is made for my brand. Okay. And that's what we call own media. Now it could be blog or social media posts. It could be even your social media channels is what we call own media. And that's a slight, It can confuse people when you're telling them that you don't own social media, but a social media channel is owned media. Pretty much what they mean is once you've created your account, you own that account. That account belongs to your brand. And even though you don't own the space, you own the account. The account is yours. So we put that under owned media as well. It could be your website. No, people think of a website as something external to their brand. Your website is your brand. In fact, the proper name for website is called a content marketing customer relation management system, CRM, right? And this is where you put content to manage your customer relationship. So your blog posts, your audio posts, your sales pitches, your pictures, your store, whatever. That's a part of your owned media. You literally own that space. No, you don't own the internet. You don't own the servers. What you own is the domain name, because you would have bought the domain name, and what you do is you pay for hosting that directs that domain to particular servers, and boom, you have a website. But again, I'm going nerdy on you. But you own the domain name, so you own your website, that particular infrastructure, that site, you own it, right? Then you also have lead magnets. Now, have you ever been on somewhere like maybe HubSpot or Social Sprout, what do you call Social Sprout or something like that? Sprout Social, right? And they say, if you sign up now, you can download our social media strategy guide, or you can do anywhere that you go where people are asking you to sign up in exchange for some kind of document or something. That document is what we call a lead magnet. You are the lead. You're the person interested in this thing, this guide, worksheet, template, whatever. And this thing is the magnet. Now, this is what is attracting you to my space. So lead, which is you being attracted to my space, right? And you're attracted to my space because you want to know whatever is in this thing here. So this thing is the magnet, and this is you. So the document, the content is the magnet, and this is you. So we call it a lead magnet, or sometimes we call it an opt-in. An opt-in literally means something that I can give you in exchange for something. So whether it's your telephone number, your email address, or some other personal information. So it's a lead magnet or opt-in. You own all of these things. They're coming out of they're coming from you. You're creating these things. So we call them owned media. All right. So now let's look at Lexi. Now this is Lexi's social media post. Lexi is really only on social media, but Lexi can get away with that because Lexi is what we call an influencer. She's a Jamaican influencer. Now, as you can see, Lexi takes the most amazing photographs with her phone, literally her mobile phone. Lexi is a mobile phone photographer, well-known one in the Jamaican digital space, because she seems to be, she directs the shoots, she put all the elements together, and then she ends up with these fabulous photos, and you're going, how are you doing this? Who is taking these pictures? She take them by herself, or she have her friend or somebody take them, but all the setup is hers. And Lexi does a lot of social media posts for companies that she has collaborated with. All right, so this is Lexi. So all the posts on Lexi's social media page is what we called owned media. She owns the content, right? And I'm going to be using Lexi for digital media, so you can see the different aspects of it. All right, so the next category of digital media is paid media. So these are advertising. So you may be on Facebook and see where you see a video pop up, where you're scrolling through your timeline and you come across some video for some university offering some course, and you see where it says sponsored. That's paid media. Or you have the ability to boost an Instagram post or boost a Facebook post. That boosted post now becomes paid media. So it moved from owned media to paid media. Okay, so and it's content, and paid media is really content that is advertised or promoted on digital platforms, and sometimes to expand your reach, and sometimes to drive sales. Because once you're expanding your reach, now you're building upon that awareness that we talked about, and of course that can generate leads, and of course that can lead to sales. But there are different types of paid media. So in Lex's case, she's doing paid partnerships, right? You also have sponsored posts that we talk about. You have Google ads and you have display ads. You have display ads, yeah, you have video ads, and you also have banner ads, right? Banner ads is when you go on a website and you see the little image at the top where you can click on it. If you click on it, it takes you to that advertiser's page. That's what we call banner ads. But Lexi uses paid partnerships, which is probably, I think, more suitable for you guys in the creative space. And basically, if you look at this, it says giveaway time. And now she's talking about pizza. So clearly, she's doing some paid partnerships with Hungry Man and Vinoa Wine, I think. Or Vino is wine. I don't know. But she is doing some paid partnerships. So, and how she's doing the paid partnerships is that Lexi is let me run it again. Lexi is putting on a pizza party with the wine that she got from the sponsor, the partner, the pizza that she got from the other partner. She invited some friends over and they took a bunch of pictures looking like, oh my God, this is the best party ever. This pizza is so amazing and this wine is great. And she did a giveaway to generate awareness about whatever it is that she's about, the pizza and the wine. Okay, so this is an example of paid partnerships, and we're going to talk about paid partnerships too a little bit more when we talk about advertising on social media. All right, so the next form of paid partnerships is the next category of digital media is what we call earned media. So we have owned media, which is you creating your stuff, putting it out on social media pages, and then we have paid media, which is where you're paying to have that own media promoted to expand your reach and build your awareness and all that good stuff. And then you have earned media. Now earned media is owned media that has been organically shared across different platforms. So whether it's your community who sees something and think, oh, this is nice, let me reshare to my story, or let me reshare on my Facebook page, or let me send out a tweet, let me retweet this, or however this content is being shared, or somebody come across your website or a blog post and they share it on their social media page. Once it is not a paid promotion, but it's this promotion that is coming from your community or from some other source that is unpaid, we will call that earned media. And we'll call it earned media because because you literally earn the recognition because of how good the content is or how bad, because earned media could be negative, or how bad the media is. So how does earned media come about? It could be in the form of a review. Somebody bought a piece of art and hang it on the wall and they're going, oh my God, it just brings the room to life and it draws all the elements together and all that good stuff. So it could be a review of your products or your services. It could be by word of mouth, because with all the marketing tactics and gimmicks and digital this and digital that, the best, still number one best type of marketing is word of mouth. Why? Because there's a trust factor that's automatically comes with a verbal recommendation, isn't it? Because you automatically assume that that person have used this before and this is their first hand experience with the thing. And why would somebody be dishonest about a first-hand experience? So people attach a lot of weight to word of mouth recommendations, but word of mouth recommendations have gone digital. So instead of going to your brother, uncle, sister, mother, friend to say, hey, I'm looking for somebody who can paint something, I will go to my digital community. I'll go on Twitter and go put out a quick tweet, say, hey, I'm looking for a mural artist. In Kingston Creative, they're doing a lot of murals all over downtown Kingston. I'm looking for a mural artist to work on one of our murals on King Street. Please retweet. And before you know it, you have hundreds of thousands of retweets and you're getting flooded with recommendations from persons, all right? Still the best form of recommendations. Testimonials are also still the best form testimony is also a form of earned media. Repost and shares, as I talked about earlier, and TV and news segment So even though traditional media is really losing some ground, traditional media can be very helpful to your digital branding. Why? Because they're also always looking for content. They're always looking for things to talk about. Now, if we look at Lexi's thing here, Lexi was recently featured in Flair magazine. Now, Flair magazine is like a people's magazine, the Jamaica version of people's magazine, you know. So they would have come across our social media platform and see all the amazing stuff that she's doing, and they decided that they wanted to give her a feature in their magazine. So she came, so they posted it on their digital platforms, it's on their websites, it's in the paper, it's all over the place, right? So she's getting a lot of exposure now because of this news or TV segment or whatever, right? So this is now what we call, so Lexi's images, Lexi's post is now is now earned media, because people come across it, see it, like it, share it. So every time you share something that somebody does, every time somebody shares something that you do, leave a testimonial, leave a review, you know what we call earned media. Now the importance of earned media, and this is what I'm going to need you guys to start doing. This is a pro tip, hashtag pro tip, right? Ask. Ask. Somebody buy a piece of art from you, don't ask them right away. Give them some time to sit with it, to enjoy, to take it in. And after maybe a week or 2 weeks, send them a little message and say, hey, I hope you're enjoying your painting or whatever. Would you mind leaving me doing a review? Or would you mind giving a testimonial about how you feel about the art, or about my sales process, if you're a business, or about something, and you're gonna let them know that you're gonna be sharing this across your platforms. First of all, people love to see themselves all over the place, and people love to feel as if somehow they're doing you a favor. You know how humans are. So most people will acquiesce and say, yeah, sure, no problem, they will do it, right? So always ask for a review, ask for testimonials. There's nothing wrong with doing that, because that now becomes a part of what we call your social proofing. And we're going to be talking about that later. Social proofing is literally this. Oh, as a newspaper articles, you are not going to buy something, or so say you're coming across something for the first time. You're going to be curious about it, but you may not be moved to purchase or buy until you read the review. So you're going on Amazon and you want to buy a hair curler, or you want to buy a ring light or something, right? You're going to read the reviews. You're going to see what are people saying about this particular ring light. How much stars they're giving it, how much thumbs up or thumbs down that they're giving it. So that's the importance of reviews. Reviews can help people make a decision. Now, this decision is the third rung of your sales funnel, right? So if you can help people, that's why when you go on certain websites, you see a section that says testimonials, or what people are saying about us, or whatever. It's because it helps people make up their minds about you and your things, your art, your products, your brand, right? So it is very important. Monique, do we have any questions or anything like that to address?
Okay. Persons chimed in and confirmed about DMing for prices, and that it annoyed them as well.
Mhm.
So that was there. Lorraine wanted to know, where can she find the information to see the active followers on Instagram?
Where can she find
When you were
information?
talking about Instagram, you were saying you can differentiate between your active
Oh,
followers.
okay, let's hope I can show you. You can see my screen. So what I want you guys to do, take out your phones. If you have a phone, if you're on your phone, take out your phone, go to the Instagram app real quick, and I'm going to take you to one of our bigger platforms, the Digital Jamaica platform. So
Sorry, Kadia, are you doing it on the computer?
no, I'm going on
Okay.
my phone. So
Okay, cool.
guys, take out your phones, quick. Okay, so I hope you're seeing this. I'm now in Instagram. You go to your Instagram page. Right
Right.
up where your profile picture and stuff is, it says followers and following. Go to following. Click on following. And you should see a page that says categories. And then it's going to say least interacted with, most shown in feed. You see that, Monique?
Yes.
Now, when you click most shown in feed, most shown in midfeed, these, it says Review the accounts with the most posts in your feed over the last 90 days. These are the people that show up the most. These are the people who show up the most in your feed. And what that means, these are the people, they're showing up in your feed because you're interacting with them the most. And if that is the case, that they're showing up in your feed, they can also go into their section and see, and you want to be showing up here for people. So you can look and see, now, these are the people that I'm most interacting with. And the assumption is that these are the people who is most interacting with you. Because if you're not seeing them, you're not interacting with them. So if they're showing up in your most interacting with section, it means that they're seeing you in their feed. Now, the Instagram algorithm is very particular. I shouldn't say, and I was gonna say weird, but it's actually not weird. It's very particular. Instagram don't show everybody to everybody, and not because you're following them means that they're seeing you or that you're seeing them. Now, because you're following somebody means they're seeing you or you're seeing them. How it works is frequency is one of the pillars of the Instagram algorithm. The more frequently you interact with persons is the more those persons show up on your feed, because the idea is you're interacting with them because you want to see their content, right? So Instagram is going to show you first at the top of your feed. I hope you guys understand that. Monique, you understand what I just said, right?
Yes. So just to answer what's happening in the chat, the reason why Kadia is doing it this way is because if we use the Instagram version that's on
Desktop
desktop,
doesn't give you
it
the
won't give you
analytic
these
details.
details.
No,
It
it
won't
doesn't.
give you these details.
So this
So
is only available on the mobile version, guys. So are they not seeing? Is that it that they're not seeing?
right, but we're not going to be able to see it on your phone.
So
But
you're not seeing it at all, Monique?
yeah, we can see your phone, but in terms of reading the words and stuff,
No, I
persons
don't
are
want you to
clicking
read
on.
the words. I just want you to know where to go. Because you have
Right.
your own phones. Go on your own Instagram pages and just go to your account page and click on following, and you will see where it says categories. And okay, you have to have a business account or a creator account to be able to see these kind of statistics, though, because this is a part of your analytics. So if you don't have a creator account or a business account, you're not going to see this. You should have a creator account, guys. As creatives, you should have a creator account, because a creator account, one, it allows you to tell people exactly what you do, and it allows you some very deep insights that you can use to really build out your brand on social media. So right now, switch over to our creator account, and I'm going to tell you how to do it. So this is my account page for Digital Jamaica. If I click on following, it says categories.
Yes.
So least followed, it says least interacted with, most shown in feed. Most shown in feed are the people that you're interacting with the most, which means that you're showing up on their platform and they're showing up on your platform. Least interacted with are the people that you have not communicated with in the last 90 days. These people have not communicated with you in the last 90 days. Now, the reason why Instagram is giving you this information is so you can clean up your accounts. You don't want dormant accounts on your thing. It doesn't really help, and that is why we say that vanity metrics, where it's just a whole heap of followers you're seeing, and you have big pretty 59,000 followers, 39,000 of them not communicating with you. That's why we say don't really watch following. Try to build community, right? And you want a community of people who are actively interacting with you. So these people have not interacted with my page over the last 90 days. All right, so let's talk about the creator account real quick. So I want you to go back to your home screen, your account home screen, and I want you to click on this. This is what we call a hamburger menu. Those three dashes, click on it. Then I want you to go down to the bottom where it says settings here. Click on settings. Then I want, you see where it says creator? Don't know if you can see. You see where it says creator here? It means that we have a creator account. But I want you to go into account, and I want you to scroll down where it says switch Yes, so it says switch. It's not clear. It says at the bottom it should say switch to business, switch to personal, and it says switch to business because I have a creator account. But if you have a business account, it's going to say switch to creator. So just click switch to creator, guys. It's not going to trouble any of your posts. It's not going to do anything. In fact, you're not going to even notice that anything happened because nothing happened. It's just the account type that is switched in the background. So nobody don't know nothing. All you know is that if you give it a couple hours, it's going to start collecting data, like deep insights data that you can use now to really build out your profile. So I hope that answered the question. Switch over right now. As a creative, you guys need to be able to tell people exactly what you do, and that is where you can do it now. So if you're a filmmaker, a visual artist, or whatever, you're going to get more categories because you are you have a creator account now. Okay.
Okay,
So
so
guys,
we
if you
have
have not
some.
done that, go and do that quick, and you're welcome. You're going to be
Just
happy with
just
that.
to answer everyone, so Lorraine is asking, so you can switch from personal to creator account. Yes, Lorraine.
Yes.
Someone else was asking, which is better, business or creator?
There's no better or worse. It depends on what it is that you're doing on Instagram. There's no better, there's no better, there's no worse. Business account is for persons who sells products and services. It's more service, more product based. So Digicel, Flow, Pepsi, these people will have business account. Now if you're an artist, a news anchor, a musician, a speaker, whatever, a creator account is probably best. Why? Because creator accounts give you that flexibility, because in a business account, the categories of business is very limited. In the creator account, you get a different category. So if you have a business account page, it would say internet business. It would probably say some kind of business category, marketer or whatever. But if it's a creator account, all right, let me simplify. Creator accounts are for personal brands, are mostly for personal brands. So you are a television personality, an anchor, a radio host, a musician, a podcast, or whatever. If you're a personal brand, a creator account. And I say for creative brands as well, a creator account is better for you. If you're a business account, you're in certain formal professional environments, then a business account is better for you. That's really the difference between the two. You also get more analytics if you have a business account and a creator account, but the creator account goes like 2 levels above business account, and you get like deep insights. You can literally in real time see activity going on your accounts. Okay, and that's good for personal brands, because personal brands, you have to work a little bit harder to build up your social media presence, you know. So what Instagram is trying to do is give you as much information as possible, as much data as possible, to ensure that you're able to do that. Any other questions before we move on?
Well, persons appreciate the insight.
Awesome. And we're gonna do analytics later, guys. So don't worry if you miss anything. No, we have a whole section on analytics where I go through the different insights and stuff. So don't worry about that.
So Laura was asking, what if you're an accountant or IT consultant?
Business account.
Trevor Smith,
account.
I'm not sure. He's saying he's just seeing the option for professional account and not creator.
When you click on professional account, what does it say, Trevor?
Professional will then lead you to choose whether you choose a business or creator. So there are multiple persons who had asked
Awesome.
in the Q&A. So click on professional account.
Click on professional and choose. Because we already have a creator account, we're not going to see the professional. Right. Yeah. And that has been a tweak that Instagram made, because at the time when we were switching, it only said create. Yeah. So now that it says professional, because you're still a professional if you're a personal brand. People make money from their personal brand. So if you click professional, you get the options. Thank you so much, whosoever check that out for us. Thank you. All right. So,
Laura, before you continue, Laura says,
hi,
"You
Laura.
are
Is that Laura
gorgeous."
necklace girl from yesterday?
Yes.
Hi, Laura.
She said, "You're gorgeous," with 3 exclamation signs.
Oh my God. All right. Let's get back. Laura was here in the digital marketing class
Yes.
yesterday, guys. Laura makes Swarovski crystal necklaces. Okay, talk to Laura. Nice. All right, let's move on to social media communication. Now, remember earlier I was going to do the hard sell and the soft sell? Let's watch a video. And guys, I'm going to remove my headphones so you can hear the video, okay? And tell me, guys, drop it in the chat if you remember this person and this commercial.
So Alicia said everybody knows the OxyClean, man.
Unleashes the power of oxygen, making tough stains disappear like magic without fading or bleeding the colors. For pet messes, OxyClean is a must. It goes deep down below the surface to get rid of the stain and the odor. Have you ever spilled chlorine bleach on your colored clothes? Well, OxyClean is tough on stains without the damaging effects of chlorine bleach. If you save 1 pair of jeans, then OxyClean has paid for itself. Some clothes say no chlorine bleach, but OxyClean safely removes the stain, even on babies' clothes. It's the stain remover for the things that you love. Add a scoop of OxyClean to every load of laundry. It'll boost the
Guys, I want you to pay
stain-removing power of
attention
your
to the ad,
detergent.
because I'm going to be asking you some
Don't
questions.
just clean it, OxyClean it.
All right. So this gentleman, well, his name was Billy Mays. Unfortunately, he has died. But Billy Mays is very, very popular for popularizing what we call infomercials, which are these really quick, rapid fire commercials where they're telling you all about the ads, and you know it's an infomercial because OxyClean, buy it now for $9.95.99, right? You know how infomercials run, because they tend to have the same kind of advertising style. It's the very hard sales pitch, 50% off if you shop now before whatever, right? So we call that the hard sell, because they're really like throwing everything at you and they're demanding your attention and they're saying go and buy it now, right? So that's the hard sell. And there are certain elements to a hard sell. So it's aggressive, and they employ a lot of what we call upselling tactics. So you think, say you are buy 1 bucket of OxyClean, next thing you know you are buy OxyClean brother, Mr. Clean, sister Clean, and before you know it, you have a whole box of stuff coming to your door because they would have upsell stuff, and sometimes they're not very upfront with the upselling that they're upselling you. So you see this on the TV for $9.99, and before you know, they charge $70 to your credit card, right? So they have misleading pricing, which is what we were talking about. You think you're paying $30? Nope, you're actually paying $130, right? Questionable effectiveness. So you see him doing the thing and him throwing it, and all of a sudden, miraculously, the big stain is gone. Camera tricks, right? It doesn't really happen like that. If you've ever washed any item of clothing, you know it don't really work like that, right? But the way that they did it makes you, it leads you to believe that, okay, this thing is really effective. Wow, amazing, right? Yeah. So the hard sell doesn't work on social media. I mean, it doesn't really work on social media, but there are lessons that they, as seen on TV, because it's another name that we call infomercials, as seen on TV, can teach you about marketing in general. So let's look at some of these lessons now. It's solution based. For the entire commercial, what was he talking about? It can clean your soft plush toy. It can clean your jeans pants. It can clean your favorite shirt. So it's very solutions based. You have a problem. You need to get rid of tough stains out of your favorite stuff. OxyClean. All right. It's conveying an urgency. Buy now, sale ends, or buy now to get this exclusive one-time television offer. Never ever again will you get this offer. Urgency. if you leave people to think about it, they're gonna be stuck on the third rung of the sales funnel, which is the decision making. You know why? Especially in digital space, they have so much options, and then we'll decide from now to next, never. Next thing you know, you don't get the sale, right? So you have to put some kind of urgency around your offers when you're putting out marketing campaigns or whatever, just so you can get people to move and take action immediately, right? Attractive pricing. Who would want something for $9.99.99? And there's a psychology behind this, guys, because you see that 1 cent or 5 cent different, people actually think, yeah, I'm winning, I'm saving some money. It's literally 1 cent, but it works. It works. People think that they're being responsible because instead of paying a whole $10, $9.95. It works. All right. And what we call brand stamping. Everything he said, the entire script had OxyClean in every other word. OxyClean, 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 OxyClean. You cannot miss that OxyClean logo. Yet once you hear Oxy, you automatically think clean. In fact, what tends to happen is that sometimes you're out of nowhere, the OxyClean commercial just pop up in your head. Hi, I'm Billy Mays, and this is OxyClean. And you're going, what happened? What's happening? Right? It's because it's stuck in your head. It's stuck in your consciousness. And they understand their market. When these commercials come up, these commercials usually come up late night, like the QVC commercials with the ladies with the big hair selling you amethyst necklaces. Late night, when most programming sign off and you're browsing and you're looking for something to watch and you're laying in your bed and you're semi-conscious and you're looking and go, oh, that's pretty. Oh, something, my birthday is coming up. Let me just, and before you know it, you take out your phone and you're on your computer, you're calling in and giving them credit card information. And by morning, you spend $500 and you don't even know how that happened, right? They understand their market. They know that their market is people who are what we call impulse buyers. Yeah, them see it, them go, oh, cute, boom, buy, done. The decision making process short. Okay, so understanding your market is so important. Now, all of these things here is what social media is for. Social media is to help you convey what is so great about you and your product or your service or your art or whatever. Why they need to get it now. How much it costs. I'm not DMing you for price. What your brand is. It helps you to really promote awareness about your brand, but it can also, with the use of data and insights and analytics, help you understand who the people are that would most likely be attracted to your brand. If you're in the digital marketing class yesterday, Monique would have told you about audience personas and audience personas and targeting your audience. Now we have some extracts to send out to you guys from our digital strategy development workbook and guide. Workbook and guide. It's a 75+ page book that we put together especially for Caribbean people because we want it to be relevant, and we've taken some extracts from that for you guys so you can see it. We're taking a section about targeting your audience and building audience personas and stuff, and I want you guys to apply all of these things when you're doing those worksheets. All right, so you guys will get that in your email soon. All right, so that is the hard sell. Those are the hard sell. But on social media, we're trying to get you to think differently. Again, it's a social space. People come on there to fasten other people's business for the most part, to give unsolicited opinions about things that you never asked them about, to share their weird opinions about Donald Trump being a lizard alien king from another planet. I've seen it. COVID conspiracy, 5G gives you cancer. Listen, it's all over social media. But that is why people go in. They're going there to exchange ideas and opinions, as weird and as wonderful as they are, right? So nobody's expecting a sales pitch. They don't care about you and your product or services. Nobody cares. Why should I care? This is my time to relax and take in the foolishness of this world, and this is my space to do it. Don't sell me nothing. However, the soft sell approach on social media is what will work, because, or the soft slash social selling is what we call it, meaning that you're not Billy Mays and you're not pushing OxyClean in anybody's face and buy now and that. Not doing that, not doing that, not doing that. Instead, what you want to do is communicate the value of your work, of your product, of your goods and your service. How do you do that? Well, show customers how to use your products and service. Some of you make things, you make jewelry boxes or trinkets or whatever that requires some, maybe have some machinery in it or some mechanical element to it or something. Showing people how to use your product or service, that's content that you can use to communicate your value. You can collaborate with subject matter experts, okay, because having somebody who is an expert in a field telling people that, yeah man, this is good. That's why you see for like pharmaceutical companies tend to always have people who look like them as doctors. Some of them are not real doctors, some of them are real doctors in their commercial, because if a doctor says this pill is good for my erectile dysfunction, I'm gonna try it, right? So having an expert collaborate with you adds legitimacy to your stuff, right? Show your process. You're a painter. We had Kevin on yesterday, who was a painter. Okay, he does, not a painter, an animator, he says. And when you go to Kevin's social media page, Kevin is showing you his animation. But what would also be good is to show people how you animate. So if you guys go over to Instagram and look for a guy by the name of C Mills Art, Corey Mills have a ton of videos showing you how he animates. Now the videos are speeded up, but you can literally see him in real time making the piece of art. That's fascinating to people, you know. Guys, nothing is too mundane. You'll be surprised what fascinates human beings. In fact, I think more than the elaborate stuff, what fascinates people is the everyday things. Have you ever thought to yourself, how is cheese made? How people make milk? How people make shoes? How are pencils made? I've sat down and watched videos on every one of those things. And when you finally sit, you go, oh, that's how that's made. There's literally a YouTube channel called How It's Made that have millions of followers. Why? Because people are fascinated by how things are done, how people make things, how people do things. It's very fascinating to people. So if you think, no, that's boring, no, it's not. That could be content that can go viral, okay? So show people how you make stuff. People are very fascinated and interested in stuff like that. Be authentic. People will suss you out. If you're on social media being fake, people suss you out. If you go on social media and tell people that you're the wickedest software developer and you can't, people will figure it out. Okay, so don't go on there and oversell yourself. No, be bombastic. Yeah, sure. Embellish a little, sure. But don't embellish to the point where people think that you do this other thing that you cannot do. Yeah, just be yourself. Be true about what you do. Be honest about what you do. Be authentic. Don't put on a personality either. Okay, don't try to make your brand look like something is not. And if you're a personal brand, don't be something you're not. People are going to like you because you're weird, you're quirky, you have pink hair, you have tattoos, you have earrings. Just be yourself. That's fine. You being yourself is great. Why humans work so well is because we're so different, and that's also why we don't work, but we're a conundrum. What can I say? But a part of the reason why we're so fascinating to each other is because culture is so vastly different, personality is so vastly different. You ever hear the saying, variety is the spice of life? I don't want to go sitting and watch a Kardashian on every single page I go to. I literally will go jump off somewhere. I don't even watch Kardashian. You know what I mean? So the more variety, the more yourself you can be, is the more you're going to be able to connect with persons on a deeper level. So I want to introduce you to this gentleman by the name of Wellesley Gale. Now, Wellesley Gale is important because he's killing it online. Now, this is a guy who have money. What kind of degree Leslie have? Leslie has some big, fascinating degree, masters from big university in London. He makes his money off his website and off YouTube.
And tell them about the website, Kadia.
It's the most jankiest website. It's the jankiest website you will ever see in your life. Let me show you the website, guys. It's called My Island Jamaica, and I'm going to show you what I mean by janky. Guys, this was a website from the literally out of the 1999s, 2000. Yeah.
We're still seeing your PowerPoint, okay?
Oh, let me stop sharing. No, but if I stop sharing, you're not going to be able to see my screen. Oh,
just
here we go.
share again your entire screen.
There you go. You seen it now?
It's loading. Jacqueline says she knows it. Yes, we can see it.
No, this is Wellesley's website. It's called myislandjamaica.com. Guys, you see what I mean by janky? Janky as in, this is not how websites look these days. This is literally 1999's remixes. Yeah, this is Puff Daddy in aluminum outfits kind of website. Yeah, granddaddy of websites. But the hits on this website is astronomical. This website is the most viewed website in Jamaica. In fact, this website is the most viewed website in the Caribbean, the entire Caribbean region. In fact, this website is one of the most viewed websites in the North and South America. I'm not kidding you. Not kidding you at all. This janky website, you know why? Leslie's a genius. What Leslie has done is he's very good at SEO marketing, clearly. But what Leslie has really done is what we call backlinking. In his website, notice there's a link to everything. If you scroll down the website, link here, link here, link here. And he's linking back to his YouTube. He's linking back to his social media page. He's linking back to his X store. When I say links everywhere. And one of the secrets to website marketing is backlinking and connecting your platforms. But I want to show you a video that Wellesley has done. If I could get back to the PowerPoint, show you a video that Wellesley has done. And I want to show you, after the video plays, I want to show you something. Are you seeing?
Beautiful breeze.
Yes.
So Wellesley has gone back to his hometown in Westmoreland, and Wellesley is struggling up a hill to go to Sally. He's struggling. You can hear him breathing hard. Eh? You can hear the struggle in it. So Wellesley is taking his YouTube subscribers back to his community in Westmoreland, Jamaica. You saw pretty it is, nice, lush community. When we were young, we used to play with these, it's pods from a tree. When you shake it, it makes a noise, we call it shake, shake. Now he's looking for Sally. Sally is one of the ladies in his community who makes Jamaican black castor oil. And what this video does is, let me mute it. What this video does is, and I'll just fast forward it to the video, is Sally is showing us how she makes Jamaican black castor oil. So, you notice she make it on wood fire stove, and you see the zinc behind there where she dry the castor beans on. She's now boiling it down here, so. And if I skip further, Sally is telling us. So as soon as the sun gets hot, she cover the beans and they pop.
Oh, they cover it up when the sun gets hot.
Yeah. So when them pop out, now we put it in a tray. We
So when the sun gets hot, she covers the castor beans. They pop out of the casing that they're in, and then she puts them in a tray. And I think what she does is she sifts out the shells and the stuff, and then she put them in this pot to boil. And literally, it's 37 minutes of Sally and Wellesley talking about making Jamaican black castor oil. Now you're probably wondering, why are you telling me this? What does it have to do with anything? Now, one of the biggest reasons why you need to be showing your process on social media is, yeah, communicating value, but it also helps people to understand your pricing. If we should go back to the previous slide, we were talking about one of the lessons learned from as seen on TV infomercials is attractive pricing. And if we should go back now to Sally's video, when what Wellesley is effectively doing here is Wellesley is justifying the prices for his Jamaican black castor oil that he sells on his Etsy store. Jamaican black castor is very popular in the natural hair community. It's the biggest product that you can use. And what has been happening is that a lot of companies, a lot of brands have been saying they're using Jamaican black castor in their products to get sales. But what Wellesley is selling is actual raw Jamaican black castor oil made by some of the women in his community, including Sally. You know that after this video, Wellesley upped his price. And if you should go on YouTube and look at the comments under this video, oh my God, I will never complain about your prices again. Oh my God, I feel like I'm there. I feel like I'm watching Sally make this. Oh my God, I didn't realize that it took so long and it took so much effort to make castor oil. Oh my God, I didn't realize that the process was so long. That's exactly the intention of Wellesley. The feedback that Wellesley get is exactly what he was intending to get when he made that video. When he was communicating the value, that means that Wellesley go sell a bottle this small of castor for $500, he's gonna get the sale. People are going to pay $500. Why? Because people now understand the long process you had to go through to make this one little bottle of castor oil, and they're going to appreciate it, and they're going to use the people that are going to appreciate it and buy it. That's your ideal people. Other people that will go, oh my God, I can't believe that she went through all this, but I'm still not paying $500. Don't focus your energy on them. They're not your target audience. They're not for you. Okay, but the majority of persons who come across this and realize how difficult something is to make, they're gonna buy it. That's why when you look at a Gucci commercial or some kind of other high-end luxury brand, you do not see a price. They will not put a price in their commercial because your price is not a communication of value. What they're going to do is you're going to see some big hyper celebrity, or it looks rich, it looks expensive, it just looks expensive. You can't just look at it and go, oh, that's not for me, not for me. Looks expensive, because that's how they are communicating their value. This celebrity wears my brand, it's communicating value, and it's communicating value through the surrogate persons. It's almost it's through this third party you're communicating, because if this celebrity who's supposed to be and have access to the most expensive things, where this brand is communicating value, you know who did that effectively? Michelle Obama. Michelle Obama made a lot of unknown fashion designers money. Why? Because she committed to wearing unknown designers. She committed to have them dress her, and because of that, a lot of them became aware in the industry. So Michelle Obama made a whole lot of people a whole lot of money because she's the president's wife. She's a first lady. You know, Americans are weird when it comes to these things and what she's wearing and what she's not wearing and what does that say and what this is. When Melania wore the coat with "I don't care" in the back, oh, she don't care about people in jail and children in cages or whatever. Nobody knows what Melania was trying to say. Melania knows what Melania was trying to say. She tends to come across as somebody who tends to not know what she's not the forum. Anyways, but Michelle Obama wore a lot of no-name fashion designers, and because of that she was able to bring awareness to their brand, and because of that they were able to that was literally their entry into the fashion design world. And she also committed to wearing a lot of minority persons, blacks, Hispanic, Latino, or whatever designers, because they don't usually get the same kind of, they don't usually have the same kind of advantages. So she was helping them to, by her wearing the clothes, that was how she was communicating the value of that brand or whatever. Because basically, if Michelle Obama looks so good in it, and she's the first lady, and she's supposed to have sense, you like to think, and she's supposed to know fashion, and she have access, but she chooses to do this, that must mean that this is good. Yeah, I hope you guys understand that. Any questions, Monique?
Okay, there is one, and I was literally typing out some clarity. So Laura was saying about, you had mentioned not putting prices in the ads for the luxury brands, right? She was saying, I guess we can't use that strategy on like our Instagram pages. I was clarifying within the chat. Now, what Kadia is alluding to or mentioned, she picked very specific luxury brands. So if we're thinking Versace, if we're thinking Gucci, if we're thinking, is it YSL? If you are an ultra luxury product, then the first thing, the value to your customer isn't particularly the price. It is all of the other subtle cues that you share and that you show that person's instantly connect, or connect with value, that they connect with it being extravagant, luxury, making them feel good. So if that is your branding, if your um, that's what your company or business represents, then maybe you would take that spiel. For most of us, we don't fit in that category. For most of us, we
Yeah,
are
they're not marketing to us. We need to
right.
know prices. The people
Yes.
that they're marketing to, they don't care about price. They
Yes.
don't need to put pricing in their ads. So if you see a Gucci ad, they don't have price in it, it wasn't for you, boo. It's not for you. If you are the type of person who have to look at your budget before you buy something, it's not for you. But in everyday marketing though, do put your prices. If you're gonna Target or a Fashion Nova, you'll see the prices there. It's just the type of brand, and some of them are so established, they don't need to put prices in there. You just know that it's expensive. In fact, what they allow you to do is try to figure out the prices yourself. So you look at a dress in a Gucci commercial and you're going, yeah, that dress, that's about a $15,000 dress. Yeah, they allow you to figure out what the price is yourself, or go to the whatever. But people who buy Gucci don't need to know what the prices are, because, well, they should. But yeah, so don't read too much into that. I was just trying to explain something. Please don't get tied to that. I was just explaining how different brands communicate their value. Okay, you need to put, if you sell something, please to put it into your caption so people know what the prices are for your things. No, you don't always have to do that. You don't always have to. It depends on your community. It depends on what your community responds to. But don't make them have to ask you for pricing, especially if you're promoting something. All right, any other questions?
We are good.
Okay, so again, back to soft selling. Social media is also a great space for storytelling. In fact, social media really thrives on storytelling, and storytelling doesn't have to be a Nancy story, or man, what happened to me yesterday. It doesn't have to be like that. Storytelling, every piece of content you post is supposed to be telling a story. It's supposed to be telling a story about you, about your brand. It gives people more insights into your mind and how you work and how you think. That is storytelling, right? So on social media, we call it brand storytelling, and it influences customers by increasing your awareness. So much time we talk about awareness, and it attracts new followers as well. And your story is how your company will be remembered by customers. Guys, this is the last slide, and then we're going on a break. So what does storytelling do it humanizes your brand. Now, if you're a business, somebody said IT and accounting earlier. IT and accounting sounds like two of the most boringest things I have ever heard in my life. However, if you are the IT person and you are the accountant and you're showing me how you calculate account, well, probably not how you calculate because maths give me hires. But if you're showing me how to do my own taxes or showing me how to do something and you're talking to me and you're telling me about that time when you had this customer and he was embezzling money and blah, 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 blah. First of all, I'm here for that story because that sounds interesting as all get out. I want to hear about this thief in person. That's fascinating to me. And how you were able to find the money even though he was trying to hide it in some secret account. Interesting. And it makes accounting fascinating to me because why? You, the person, you're telling me that story, and I'm more interested in how you're telling the story and your experience than I am about accounting and mathematics, really and truly. So it humanizes your brands. It links story to brand value benefit, because what that story is telling me about you being able to find that hidden account and find the money and all the detective work you were able to do as an accountant, especially if you're in forensic accounting, that means that you're bad. You know you know what you're doing. You're tops, right? So that also communicates your value and your benefit. But it doesn't work if you're faking it. It doesn't work if you're lying. You know, YouTubers have a thing that they call story time, and it's usually clickbait here. When you go on there, some foolishness they tell you, you automatically just don't believe it because it sounds fake. Yeah, don't be like that. Don't be one of those YouTubers. Tell authentic stories, tell true stories. Again, even if you barely show a little bit to make it interesting, but as long as it's truthful. Now, quickly, let's look at Harvard's page. Harvard doesn't say, "Come to Harvard, the home of the whitest people in the world." They don't say that. They don't say that. What Harvard is trying to do is communicate their value by showing you the experiences of students. So you have this one who says, Tatiana Patino and Wahlberger Kumala started a room in Stoughton Hall in their first year, and they're still friends to this day. What does that say to you? It says that you can build valuable friendships if you come to Harvard. Here is this lady that says during her time at Harvard, that lady traveled the world, 5 countries, working on projects from education and public health. What does that say to you? I am open to opportunities because I'm a Harvard student and I can travel and gain valuable experiences. After he graduates from Harvard Dental, Jeffrey Taylor would pursue a residency in oral, whatever. So they're using their students to communicate the value of going to Harvard. The value of going to Harvard is in the networks you're going to build. First of all, the name alone, once you say Harvard graduate, you know, people go, okay, you must have sense, right? So that is what Harvard is doing. Harvard doesn't have to say, come to us, we're the best people, blah, blah, blah. In fact, none of Harvard video is a hard sell video. It's all about, oh, look at the pretty campus. Isn't it pretty? Ooh, nice buildings. Ooh, our faculty members are the dean of medicine is the medical doctor, is the what chief medical doctor of the USA or whatever. That's how they are communicating their value. And I thought this was a really good example because Harvard not one time ever said, come to Harvard, we have some programs and you need to do them. They don't say it. All right.
A comment from Trevor Smith who says, this is all serious information and all, but it's so gosh darn entertaining. Yes, Trevor, we try to make it spicy. Okay, I'm not getting Judith,
Can we
so
try somebody else?
I'm allowing Jada to talk. Jada?
Hi everyone. So far I have been loving the webinar. It's so good.
Hi, Jada.
Thank you.
You're
It's on my
welcome.
lips. I hope you don't mind.
That's fine. That's fine. I would like to know, as creatives, I know it's not what the seminar is about, but how as creatives do you go about pricing your items? So not undervaluing your work, but not, overpricing your work as well.
First, I would actually start out, Jada, with what are these things that you're doing? What
What are
is
you making? What's your product?
Okay, so I make jewelry. I also make yarn and plant bags. Plant bags are plastic yarn, so I sew the plastic together to make bags, right?
Okay.
I started out about a month ago officially, and a lot of persons have been saying, "Hey, your prices are too expensive."
They're not for you. Those people aren't your people.
But I'm not sure how to reach a bigger audience. It has been very challenging for me, so I'm not sure what to do. Do I lower my prices so I can get more audiences, or do I keep it but not have as much persons to buy?
Okay, what I will say is what you don't want to do is keep changing your prices, because if your prices keep changing, it shows an uncertainty and it kind of can throw people off. What were some of the factors that went into your pricing in the first place?
The number one factor for me was labor because it
Okay.
takes a lot of time to make the bags.
Mm-hmm. What
So
else?
that was my number one. As it relates to sourcing the materials,
Mm-hmm.
right? They're not exactly cheap, and I
Right.
also factor in, the profit margin.
Sure, and those are all good things. The time that it takes, not just the labor, but the time it takes to drive to the store, that's gas. Get the stuff, buy the stuff, come back, sort it out, do your designs, blah blah blah. It's time intensive, it's labor intensive. There's also the creative process. Your own internal creative process is also something that you need to price, because that in and of itself has value, right? And so we're not just pricing, you're not just pricing based on how much the materials cost, but you're pricing based on your talent level or your skill level. You're pricing based on who it is that you're targeting, and the value that they would let me do this for me, the value that they would attach to something like that. You're also pricing based on labor, as you said earlier, and material and the quality of the thing and all. But listen, I'll just say this because pricing is a workshop by itself. I'll just say this: don't change your pricing unless when you look at competitors in the market, they have a similar price range right across the board. If you don't have any competitors in the market, if you're doing something different and unique and special, then you don't have any benchmarks to kind of put against. Although I kind of doubt you're doing something that is super exclusive that nobody else has ever done before. Your techniques may be different, but somebody may be doing something similar. Look at how they're pricing and then try to use that as a benchmark. But let me tell you this: don't go changing your pricing because people don't want to pay for it because they say it's cheap. If the persons who come across your stuff and like your stuff will buy your stuff. Don't allow people to make you get you all skitsy. Skittish when it comes to how you price your stuff, and don't be afraid to price your stuff for what it's worth. Have you ever gone into some store, see one little string up piece of something power and place it myself for $5,000? They
Yep.
have no shame, no shame. And you know that what you make are way better than this. And them selling for $10,000, $20,000. It's sold though, they get sale. The person who will want your stuff will
Mm.
buy your stuff. Don't allow people on social media to make you change your prices these are unless there's something that they're saying about, again, unless your competitors have a, because you guys, if you're in a particular industry, there's standard pricings for certain things. You know what I mean? You won't have one bottle drinks being sold for $20 and then another bucket drinks with the same kind of material, the same, being sold for $200. Now that's a significant price disparity. So you can again use that as a benchmark, but please don't make people on social media make you they run up and don't change in your prices.
Jada, I have something else to add to what Kadia has said. Where are you from?
I'm from Jamaica, Portmore, Jamaica.
Excellent. I wanted to use an example, right? First and foremost, in terms of help or resources, you can always reach out to JBDC in terms of getting help with that costing and pricing and doing all the mathematics and whatever. They will help you in terms of your business support. That's one. Number two, you realize that tropical rhythms is 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 no fruit juice. It's sold in a glass bottle, and because of an alignment and because of branding, the same is not exactly syrup and water. It's fruit cordial. That Big Joe selling a one bag juice for $20. Them selling a one glass water for $200. Sometimes how we package and how we present our brand to persons, it makes all of the difference. And so you look at the difference between a Bridget sandals, a Jan's accents, and a pair of slippers you buy at Payless. You check on Instagram, there is a skincare company called the Skin Treats, and they're a Jamaican company. And if you see their aesthetic, how the things are laid out, I don't need no skincare lotion. And every time I see it, I go, oh God, I want to buy something from this person. You know, so a part of what that may be signaling to you is that though you're creating something beautiful, though you're creating something unique and different, you're not showing it, you're not giving it the love and the frame that it needs.
You're not showcasing it properly.
In order for persons to actually see that value. Yeah. So that's what I think is happening there. Yeah.
What's the name of the company, Monique? Skin Treats?
I'm gonna search it and tell you exactly what it is.
Oh, the Skin and Body Treats company?
Yes, the Skin Treats is their handle.
Yes, and if you should even go on Morgan's Creek, if you go Morgan's Creek too, you always want to buy something from Morgan's Creek because their branding is so
look nice. And why I even pulled them out again is even the posts that don't include a product shot are still closely aligned with what the brand is representing.
Yeah, they're on brand.
Relaxation, you know, so and I chose it too because it's a Jamaican brand. It's not out of foreign, Warna Woy. It's somebody doing it right now. All right. Thank you so much, Jada. Appreciate it.
Thank you for that.
I hope that was helpful, Jada.
Yes, it was. Thank you so much.
Awesome.
Okay. So we have another question from Kamisha.
But before you go, also on that same point when you make about your packaging, it's also how you're talking about your thing. And again, how you're communicating the value, not the price, but the value of your product to Jada that you might want to look into. Because certainly if you're making a luxury brand and you're using certain languages that doesn't communicate luxury, or your graphics and your image and your post doesn't say luxury, nobody's going to connect luxury to your brand. Because remember, all of this, Jada, is a perception. It's about perceptions. All right. So you want to create the perception of luxury. You have some high-end brands where they're not using any different material than any other brand, but it's the perception of exclusivity, the premium look, that fancy up-end look that's selling it. And then even the language that they use is a little bit different as well. So look into the language and look into the packaging and look into how you're talking about the thing and communicating the value of the thing.
Okay, so Kamisha asks, many blessings. How do you tell a story about accounting while maintaining confidentiality?
Right. So for instance, I was telling you the story about I was making it up, like, so you are telling me the story about how one time you went into this company and you found out that the company was embezzling or whatever. No, you don't need to tell me what the name of the company is. You don't even you need to tell me who the client is. In fact, you can shroud your story in ambiguity and still have people enjoy the story. So it is about, one, you can retain confidentiality by not naming the person, by not giving away any details or too many details that would give people an idea of who the person is, unless you want to, which is probably not good for your professional look. But there are many ways of telling stories, guys. You literally don't even have to You don't have to give me all of the details. You can just pick out the most salient points and put a little story together.
Nancy was saying, I changed the profile on Instagram to artist, and now all I have is a blank black screen with a refresh arrow. She's
A
saying she's not
black screen on what?
and she's not sure what she did wrong. Nancy, did you refresh your page? Did Instagram crash, or is Instagram still up? Let us know what's happening there.
Changing, literally, guys, changing your account does not affect the front face of your account. Nobody knows that your account has changed. The only time they will know is that certain accounts, it gives you more space in your bio to do certain things. So you can add a book now button, or you can add buttons or whatever. But changing your account doesn't crash. Changing your account type doesn't crash your account. It doesn't. So
Nancy, let us know if you're seeing anything more on your phone now. Have you refreshed it? Close Instagram and reopen it.
Yeah, literally just swipe it away, close it, and then go back, because Instagram does that sometimes. Nancy, let us know what happened after you refresh. I'm going to start sharing screen again because we have quite a few more things to get through. So let's get back. All right. Is everybody back and ready to go again? Monica, you ready to go?
Some people never left.
All right. So the next part of the soft selling, the next element of soft selling is what we call responsiveness. Remember earlier I was talking about, it's one thing to go on social media and post and whatever, but if you're not responding to people, so somebody go on your post and say, oh, lovely necklace and whatever, you know, even say thanks, you're not being responsive, you're not communicating, not engaging, then that's not good. Again, you go on social media, want to be social, right? So even brands must interact with other users on a platform. Brands and businesses must engage to get engagement. That's what we call reciprocity. So you respond to comments. You ask questions in your stories and DMs. It's also a good way to collect data. You make first contact. So who are the people that you want to follow you? So do you want other people in your industry to follow you? How about following them first? Making the first move, building relationships with them first, making them notice you guys. There are millions of people on social media now. Why you think people must notice your page? I don't know. You're not that special. You're really not that special. So you have to make an extra effort to reach out to these persons, communicate your value to these persons, and then you'll be surprised to see how that opens you up now to followers and comments and likes and stuff. And please, if people are following you and you like their page, follow them back. It is not cute to have 5,000 followers and you're only following 30 people. It shows that you're very selfish. That actually shows that you're selfish. So let me disabuse you of that thought that if you have a higher follower to follow ratio, that means that you're doing something right. No, it means you're selfish and you need to stop. So if people come on your page and you like their stuff, follow them, show them back love too. That's how it works on social media. You have to give to get. All right, now certain brands take responsiveness and brand personality to a whole nother level, and Wendy's is one of them. Wendy's is very known on Twitter for being clap back queens. Now Americans have this thing they call clap back queens. Means if something said to you or snap back, somebody says something, you snap back at them with some cute or some shade or something. Yes, now Wendy's is known for that. Wendy's has parlayed their quick-witted and shady posts into a whole hashtag called National Roast Day. And what they're doing is that they're saying to their followers, if you at us in your post, so they've made up a holiday. If you at us to your post, then we will shade you. So celebrities joined in, regular everyday people joined in, even some politicians joined in into the Wendy's hashtag National Roast Day. So it's go time. You want the roast? Then let's go. National Roast Day. Now, this is very clever marketing on Wendy's part, because what happened that day? Millions and millions of people were atting Wendy in their tweets and using Wendy's new hashtag National Roast Day. So the awareness, the publicity went skyrocketing on Wendy's for that day. Why? They're smart. They're smart. So they were using the uniqueness, what their brand personality was known for. No, a company can have a brand personality. Yes, it can. And Wendy's is very informal, down to earth, funny, communicative, very millennial is what I would say. So people would say, oh, you can't roast this handsome face, hashtag National Roast Day. And then Wendy says, I'll let you know when we see one. Right? Ooh, shade, right? So Wendy's was shading people all day, and it was funny. It was funny to watch. So yeah, guys, so Wendy's have created a whole new engagement stream from this National Roast Day, and now everybody knows about Wendy's and knows about their Twitter, and Wendy's Twitter has millions of followers. Okay, so Wendy's is being responsive. So what they did, they realized that persons were responding to their brand personality, how they engage. They then took that data and then they turned it into a whole, it was actually a whole week of activities around National Roast Day and roasting or whatever. No, this is not an annual thing that they do. People look forward to Wendy's National Roast Day, right? And we do have what we call social media holidays. So National Friendship Day, National Coffee Day, National Dog Day, National Data Day, whatever, right? So we have social media holidays too, and now Wendy's has created their own social media holiday. That's them being responsive to their community, and that's them actually giving their community what their community wants, which is something that you need to be able to do. Give your audience what it is that they want. Okay, so that's responsiveness. So listen, social media is about the people. It's not about your business. Provide for the people and the people will provide for you. Give the people what they want and the people will give you what you want, which is their money or their time or attention, right? Which usually leads to money. So that's it about soft selling. Let's move to the other slide. Why is this stuck? Okay, so the other thing is relationships versus followers. Guys, it is not enough to have a lot of followers on social media. What is most important? No, having a lot of followers is nice because it looks pretty. It makes your platform look like, oh yeah, things are happening over here. Look how much people she has gotten to follow her and whatever. But relationships are so much more important than followers, because this is, remember how I showed you earlier, Instagram put your followers into categories of least interacted with and most shown in your feed. That's Instagram telling you that followers are not important, because you can have hundreds of thousands of followers and they're not seeing your content. You know why they're not seeing your content? Because they're not interacting with your page often enough for Instagram to care to show them your content. That's why relationships are important, because in your most shown in feed, these are the people that you actually have built some form of relationship with. They keep coming back to your page. They keep wanting to see what is the latest post, what is the latest product, what is the latest painting, what is the latest thing that you have up, because they like you, they like what you're doing, and they want to support. Relationships are far more important than followers. Relationships actually can be converted into customers. You don't necessarily, followers are, it's harder to convert followers into customers because they're ambiguous, no face, no name people. You don't know who they are, you don't know anything about them because you're not communicating with them often enough to know them, right? And community helps you to expand your brand reach. Okay, remember we're talking about earned media. If you have people in your community, your followers sharing your post, automatically their feed is seeing it. And that's, no, even if they only have 100 people, that's 100 more people seeing your brand and becoming aware of who you are. So it's very important that you build relationships. And so whether it's a relationship with somebody else in your other people in your industry, or relationships with people who are interested in your products and services, is always important that you are really making an effort. So this is a pro tip, hashtag pro tip. Spend at least 30 minutes a day engaging other platforms. Try it and you're going to thank me later. Go on these, just take a quick look at your latest post right now. Well, not right now, right after this. Go to your Instagram, go to your Facebook, go to your Twitter, and take a look at the latest post, your latest post, and see who commented and what they're saying and their and whatever. Go look on their page, look through their thing. If you see something you like, click like. If you see something that moves you to comment, comment. I mean, it takes nothing out of you to show people love on social media. It takes nothing. It takes minutes, seconds, and you can be adding so much more value to your account, to your profile, just by being a generous person, being generous. Because there's what we call social media etiquette, and social media etiquette means that there's certain things that you're expected to do on social media if you want to get what you need to get out of it. You can't want thousands of followers and you don't want to follow anybody, or you follow and unfollow people. Don't follow and unfollow people. It's annoying as all get out, and it actually, Instagram, in fact most platforms will now ban you if you keep doing that, right? But you want all the love and the likes and the follows and the comments, and you're not doing that for other people. I mean, who are you? You're not that special. Why should we keep doing it for you and you're not doing it for anybody else? No, don't do that. All right. So spend 30 minutes a day looking at the people who go to that shown in feed section. In fact, what I think you should do is go into the least communicated with section and start reconnecting with those people. Reach out to them, send them a DM. Hey, how you doing? We've not spoken in a while. Hope everything is good. How's business? Whatever. Your DMs, it goes down in the DMs. Let me tell you, your DMs are probably one of the most powerful social media tools that people are not using. Go into that section that says least communicated with and start. If you're interested, by the way, reconnect with them, send them a DM message, comment on their post, give them a follow if you're not already following them. Well, yeah, give them a follow if you're not already following them. Share their stuff in your story. So I'll tell you a little bit about what we do on Digital Jamaica platform. I created a hashtag that we call On Our Timeline. And what we do is we go through and look at our community members and what they're posting, and we share it in our stories in a segment we call On Our Timeline. And we do that multiple times throughout the week. And it's a part of cross-platforming, which we're going to look at later. But it says a couple things to them. It says, one, I care about them and their content so much so that I'm going to expose it, use my platforms to promote it. It says that to them. It also says to other community members that she cares about her community and look at what she's doing for her community. It also says to them that I'm taking the time to show up for them and to help them reach more people. So it says that one gesture says a lot, and it communicates a lot, and that adds value to your platform. Now people are going to want to communicate with your platform because there are benefits to it for them. Okay, so that's also how you're adding value. Your people are going, okay, so if I have something to promote and Kadia says if I DM her, she'll show it in her stories, I'm going to DM her. You know much things I can get from you in my DMs? Oh, so now I'm doing that for you. I have a course coming out. I have a workshop coming up. I'm going to turn to my DMs and say, hey, I have this workshop coming up. Do you mind just sharing that post in your story? They're going to gladly do it. Gladly do it. Because the 99.99% of the time, you're not asking them for anything. You're just showing them love. And they will gladly reciprocate things. So don't do it because you want them to do it back for you. Do it because you genuinely care about the people in your community. All right. And I went on about that because it's important. Okay, it's important. So all of that culminates into community building. So responsiveness, communicating value, storytelling, building relationships, all of that comes back to your community. So having a well-developed and active and engaged community is how brands attract, engage, and convert. I'm sure you've heard that term, attract, engage, and convert. That phraseology is because that's actually how it works on social media. You have to attract them first, you have to communicate, build relationship with them, and then that can lead to sales. No, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's the people who follow your community members who are going to give you the sales, but your community members can do even more for you. So you have 500 people in your community and that's 500 sales. That's fine. Sure, that's cool. That's nice. But if those 500 people in your community, between them, have over 300,000 people in their networks combined, that's 300,000 more potential sales. So don't worry about your community members not buying from you. If they're sharing, if they're engaging, if they're giving you earned media, that's even more valuable. If they're giving you data, if they're giving you insights, if you can ask them questions and get them to share their ideas and thoughts with you, then you can use that to help you build out your products and services even better. Okay, so your community is very important. So I wanted to show you a Jamaican by the name of Siobhan Morgan. Siobhan has really perfected the hyper engagement social media strategy. Now, Siobhan runs a page called Proud Jamaicans, and Proud Jamaicans is one of the largest Jamaican community on Instagram and Facebook. One of, because the largest one is called I Am a Jamaican that have millions of followers, but this one I think he has almost 350,000 followers now. But what Siobhan has been able to do is hone in on what his community wants, what are their values and what do they value the most. And what they value the most is what we call sentimentality. They're very sentimental, very nostalgic group of people. These are mostly people in the Jamaican diaspora who longs for home. They miss tradition, they miss culture. So Siobhan only posts Jamaica center thing, but not just Jamaican center, but a lot of old fashioned Jamaican things, right? He mostly posts that, and the response that he gets is astronomical. His engagement rate is more than 120%. And why is that important? Because if you get 5%, you're actually considered to be doing great. Yeah, he's way over 100%. All right. So he posts funny things like this: which Jamaican dish could be under this trap that would catch you, and stuff like that. Interesting things, and you'll be surprised what people comment and say under that. So this is how Siobhan is building community. Siobhan makes a living off that community as well, because what Siobhan, this is the comfort part. Remember earlier I was talking about comfort, convenience, or necessity. This falls squarely under comfort. This is feel-good content. It makes people feel good. It makes people feel home. It makes people feel like they're part of the Jamaican community, and that's important for a lot of people. And in return, they're gonna buy your merchandise. He has partnered with Teespring to make shirts. He has partnered with other people to make different articles of clothing, and all Siobhan do is put the Jamaican flag on it, and he's making a killing selling Jamaica-centric merchandise on Instagram. He doesn't have a website. On Instagram. All right, guys. So that's how important your community is, and that is why you should spend more time trying to build your community than trying to build your brand on social media, because building your community automatically translates to building your brand on social media. Okay. All right. So as I was saying earlier, your target audience will not necessarily be your customers. However, they can do you one better. They can recommend your brand. Remember, word of mouth or products to someone who will, and that's why they're valuable. And that's a quote from our strategy development guide, our strategy development workbook. All right. Okay, let's look at consistency and frequency for a minute here. Okay, this is consistency and frequency. All right. There we go. Let's look at consistency and frequency for a minute here, guys. Now, consistency, again, is important. Jamaicans have a thing where they say, don't come for, well, not Jamaicans, don't come for me unless I send for you. Okay, so and that's supposed to be a shady term, but when you're looking at consistency and frequency, you'll understand. Because if you go and start building this community and people are so excited and people found this group that they can connect with because you share similar interests and everything is going great, and then you just stop posting, disappear. Sometimes it takes weeks for you to post something. You're frustrating people and you're going to lose community members. And I can tell you this, it's better not to have them than to lose them, because when you lose them, it's very hard to get them back. Why? They have options. They don't need to be spending time on you and your foolishness, right? So consistency and frequency is extremely important when you're talking about branding and building a brand and a business on social media and building your community, all right? So the key to effective engagement is consistency, and Instagram will tell you about their algorithm. Consistency and frequency is a pillar of the algorithm. If you're not showing up, a pillar of the algorithm in that is the people that you engage and communicate with the most that is going to see your content, and vice versa. So if you're not posting consistently and frequently, then you're going to miss them and they're going to miss you. All right. So guys, we're actually now in the process of, well, I'm writing it's called the Instagram Guide 101. It's a guide for Jamaicans and Caribbean persons, Jamaican and Caribbean brands, and that's going to be out in November. If you guys are interested, you can just put that in the chat. I went through everything on Instagram because I realized that we're struggling with Instagram. We're struggling a little bit with trying to figure out what to post on Instagram and why and when, and the analytics. And because listen, Instagram is a feature rich platform. There's a tons and tons of features that you can be using on Instagram, but if you don't know how to use them and when to use them, then you might run yourself into problem. So that guide is going to be available in the second week of November, so you can look out for that, guys. And in it, I spend a lot of time talking about the algorithm and about consistency and frequency and why it is so important. All right. So we're going to look at Jackie Aina over there. And also, consistency is not just consistently posting, but consistency actually means posting the same type of content. Meaning, let's look at Jackie Aina and I can better show you what I mean. Jackie Aina is a huge beauty brand, personal brand, beauty personality, particularly on YouTube. Even though she have millions of followers on Instagram as well. She have over 3 million followers on YouTube. No, in the beauty community, Jackie Aina is actually a small fish, because you have people like James Charles with 16, 20 million, and James Charles and this other one, I forgot what his name, that has millions of followers, right? But Jackie caters to a very particular group, and her group is dark-skinned women. That's her target group. So every video Jackie Aina does is focusing on dark-skinned women. How to treat your skin, how to take care of yourself, your skin, your face routine, makeup that don't work for you, makeup that make you look ashy, makeup that is too red for your yellow undertone, and the best lipstick that suits you. And she gives honest reviews about products and services. So if I'm thinking, okay, I need a glam luxury look for my hot date, I'm going to more than likely go to a Jackie and I say, no, I don't like makeup. I literally only have on a concealer right now because I can't be bothered with all of that mess. But I will go watch it and then put on a lipstick and go about my business, but I watch it, okay? Because I trust that what Jackie Aina is telling me is factual. She's authentic, she's truthful, she's always responsive, and she's communicating her value by showing me. Jackie Aina does a lot of GRWM, get ready with me. It's a terminology. Get ready with me, GRWM videos. So she actually shows you how she's doing her makeup to go wherever she's going. the Get Ready With Me part. And that's interesting to people. Remember earlier I was telling that people like to see how you actually do this thing. How did you get from A to this pretty end product that I'm seeing? That's what Jackie is very good at, right? So Jackie is being consistent in it. You will never see on Jackie Ina's channel, she coming on talking about white people makeup, or coming on talking about something outside of the beauty brand. She always tries to find a way to connect it back to beauty and makeup and whatever, right? Now, if I'm following Jackie Aina because I'm interested in beauty and makeup for black skin, and the next thing I know, Jackie Aina doing a dance video, or Jackie Aina doing a cooking video. Excuse me, ma'am. I didn't come here because you were a cook. I come here because you can do makeup. Can I see some makeup, please? So that's what I mean by consistency. If you start out posting certain things, continue posting that things. You can transition. It doesn't mean that you have to post the same thing for the rest of your life. You can slowly, gradually transition into other forms of content, but you need to be able to, you need to be communicating that to your community so they know what you're doing. So they don't show up on your page and next thing they see a whole bunch of pictures of dogs and you're going, is this the same page? Has she been hacked? What's going on? You have to be consistent in the type of content that you're producing, the subject matter of the content that you're producing, and you have to be frequent in how much you're producing it. All right, guys? So consistency, frequency. It builds trust. It builds trust. It says sameness. People like sameness. People don't necessarily like different and new and wonderful. That's also nice and great. But we really only sign up with you because I want to see some makeup. So I don't care what you think about Donald Trump, really and truly. Yeah. So that's kind of what it is. All right. So people want to do business with you because you help them get what they want. They don't do business with you to help you get what you want. Nobody cares what you want. People care about what they want because people are inherently selfish, and that's actually good. That's actually good for you as a person who creates a product or a service or whatever, right? Because ultimately, if you can give people what they want, they will give you what you want, which is money. Okay, ultimately. All right. So let's look at reputation management, because this is something, if people talk about social media, but they don't talk about reputation management, and it's actually very important. You have to be so careful what you are posting on social media. Very careful, because you can actually damage your brand if you're not careful. All right. So reputation management. So when you're doing social media marketing, right, as a brand or a person, or as a brand or a business, you have to be careful how you communicate. You have to be open in your communication because it's social media. So you have to be social, you have to engage and all of this. And there has to be a level of transparency to it as well. So before social media, and this is a lot of reasons why people don't trust big brands, is because they always seem like this great big company on the hill. You can never get through to a manager because you have 500 gatekeepers. I'm sorry, she's in a meeting. Can you just tell me what you want and I'll try and help you? If I wanted to talk to the salesperson, I'd talk to the salesperson, but I ask you for a manager, sir, ma'am. You can never talk to a manager. You can never talk to the business owner. You don't. It's just this no face, no name company out there. And that's why people don't trust big business. That's why people don't trust big government, because there's no personal attachment. There's no accountability. There's no one person that you can point to and say, yes, you. I spoke to you. This is your fault, whatever. So when you're going on social media, you are forced to open up and be a little bit more transparent, right? That can come with its own set of problems. That can open you up to scrutiny, and scrutiny can lead to reputational harm, real or imagined. Hashtag canceled is what I'm talking about. It is not hard to get hashtag canceled, okay? So there was an incident in Jamaica back in 2016, and it threw, I don't know how many of you know Lasco if you're not in Jamaica, where Lasco had to apologize because one of the persons who their account manager on Twitter posted something that caused a bit of controversy. So what did the person do? So the gentleman, his name is Omar McLeod. He won the 110 meters hurdle during the athletics event in Rio 2016. So he won an Olympic gold medal, yeah? And you know how Jamaicans are when, in fact, you know how the Caribbean is when we go to the Olympics and mashed up with excitement and oh my God, right? And a question was asked by Terry Carell, who's a popular Jamaican personality, to caption something. I think we're not going to get into the full story, but she asked people to caption something, and somebody said goldfish. No, objectively speaking, it's funny. Why? Because Omar McLeod, people think Omar McLeod is gay. They think he's a homosexual. And when she asked the caption, the person said goldfish because in Jamaica, we use fish as a derogatory term to call a homosexual person. So the person said goldfish. So if you understand the context, it's funny. Objectively speaking, it's funny. However, it wasn't funny for Lasco because it's Lasco's business page this came out on. And it caused an uproar when polite society took it up, because even though in your private quarter you're going, that's kind of funny. In public, you can't say it's funny because that's disrespectful to Omar and to this massive achievement that he has made. It's disrespectful. And as a company, you don't want to be seen as somebody who's promoting this kind of disrespect for people for people in general, right? So it caused one piece of brouhaha. The person got fired. Laska spent millions of dollars trying to fix their reputation again. And so social media can be a very treacherous space for businesses, even personal brands, if you are not careful. Something similar happened to JPS. JPS basically called all Jamaicans thieves. You know, see, we're tax cheats, and that's why our bills are so expensive. That didn't go down too well. They had to do a lot of retracting and town hall meetings and all sort of things to be able to fix something that they said, right? So if you notice, this person say, who is managing JPS social media account? This can't be real, right? Because people are going, you're a brand, you're a business, you cannot be saying this on social media. You're held to a particular standard once you start attracting people and building community and becoming a popular, famous brand. You can't say certain things anymore. It actually kind of restricts you to certain politically correct corners, right? So you can't be saying certain things. So guys, reputational harm is a very serious thing. And if you're not managing your brand, which means not just how you talk about your brand, but how you allow other people to talk about your brand. If you're not managing that process, you could find that you run into some serious problems. Do we have any questions? Because then we're going to quickly go into content.
A quick aside, Corinne, did you mention a cosmetologist in an example?
No, I said Jackie Aina.
Oh, Jackie Aina. No, go ahead.
Okay. All right, so guys, this is Miss Rihanna, one of my favorite people. Now, guys, I want you to pay special attention to what Rihanna is saying in this video. And I want you to, because at the end, I want you to, for me, I want you to, pay special attention because she says certain things about her brand that I want you to pay special attention to, because then I'm going to quiz you about it, okay? So let me take out my headphones, and you have to, guys, put in your headphones. If you don't have your headphones now, please to put them in, because some of the videos are low, okay? So I'll give you a couple seconds to get your headphones, and then we can start. Okay, so get your headphones, plug them in, and ready. Here we go.
I feel like I empowered a lot of women tonight, and I feel like that's what Savage X is about. That's what we represent. A lot of people came down the carpet, and the one word that they said to me that represented Fenty was inclusion. How important was that for you to make sure that message has been said? Well, inclusion has always been something that has resonated with me in all my brands, and not like intentionally, but for the most part, just subconsciously. That's what I love. That's what I relate to. That when it came to beauty, the first woman that I've seen put on makeup was my mom. That was a Black woman. And to think that that was a sector that was completely ignored in the beauty industry, I didn't know until I actually made my foundation line. And now it happened again with lingerie. I want women to feel confident no matter what size they are, no matter what shade of blue they are, no matter what their personality is, what their race is, their religion is. I want women to feel confident and sexy because that's who we are and we deserve to feel like that.
All right. So you guys heard what Rihanna had to say about her brand. Now, why am I playing you this video? Because for you to be able to understand content, you need to be able to understand the essence of content. What content is supposed to be doing is giving people an idea of your brand. What is your brand about? Who are you? What are you about? Why should I care about you and whatever you do? Now, if you're using social media marketing, that means you have to create content, and your content should at every single turn reflect your brand, okay? So in order to do that, you must have a very intimate understanding of what your brand is so you can communicate that to people. And I always go back to this Rihanna video because Rihanna seems to have a very intimate understanding of what her brand is about, who it is for, and why she's doing this, okay? So guys, drop in the comments, what are the 3 words Rihanna used that we could call descriptors of her brand? She said she used 3 words repeatedly during this short interview. In fact, even the interviewer used some of those words. So just drop it in the comments. What are the 3 words that Rihanna used to describe her brand? But we're gonna get to that shortly. Money, can you just make a note? No, this is the Fenty show that happened recently. This is a 2020 Fenty show, and I wanted to show you this because guys, just look at this image. Rihanna's Fenty Savage X Fenty show is becoming like a Victoria's Secret's not what is that annual
Angels.
Yeah, Victoria's Angels.
Well, in any case, it would have angels in
Yeah,
there. Yeah.
she's slowly taking over from those people because let me tell you, it's an extravaganza. So if you look at this picture, what you see fat people, you see skinny people, you see black people, you see white people, you see light skinned people, you see dark skinned people, you see men dressed as women, you see women dressed provocatively, you see rappers, you see musicians, you see, when I tell you that this, you see even men, even plus size men are included. When I tell you that this is perhaps one of the most culturally, that some of these people are Hispanic, some of them are African Americans, you have a couple Jamaicans in there. Yeah, let me tell you, this is one of the most diverse fashion shows to happen this year, and all the headlines, Rihanna prays for her inclusivity and diversity and blah 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 blah. That's her brand. Every single thing Rihanna does is about inclusivity and diversity. All right. So guys, what were the 3 words that Rihanna used in her thing a while ago? Money.
So Sonia jumped in. She said empowerment, inclusion, confidence. Michael says inclusion. Jada said inclusion. Olivia, inclusion, empowerment, confidence, centered around women, empowering.
Exactly. Inclusion, empowerment, and confidence. Now, guys, what I want you to do is write down your own brand descriptors. What are the 3 or 4 words that if somebody was to ask you, what is your brand about? You can just reel them off. Now, how long was that clip? Less than 3 minutes, 2 minutes, and in 2 minutes, Rihanna was able to adequately, clearly communicate to you what her brand is about, to the point where you pick out those 3 words: inclusivity, empowerment, and confidence. So guys, take some time to write down what are the words that are what we call descriptors, brand descriptors. What is the perception that you want people who communicate with your brand or come in contact your brand? What is the takeaway for them? What are the words that you wanted them to have when they think about you and your brand. It's very important because that's what you're going to use to guide the type of content that you are making. The content that you're making is supposed to drill that down in them head over and over and again. Confidence, inclusion, empowerment, confidence, inclusion. If you should go on Savage X Fenty site, you're gonna see plus size people, short people, tall people, disabled people, people who don't have a gender, people I don't a gender, non-gendered people, people who are bisexual, people who are straight, men who likes women clothing and makeup, women who likes men clothing and trousers. You're gonna see all sorts of different people, and all of them are beautiful and they're very well put together in their own style. And every single piece of content Rihanna puts out, confidence, empowerment, and inclusion.
And inclusion.
Everything, including the products, not just
Okay.
her social media marketing or her digital marketing, but even in our products, it's reflected there. All right.
Okay,
And that is what makes content good. Guys, what I'm going to do for you is that we may not be able to get through because we have analytics to go through. We're going to probably go a little bit over 4 o'clock, not a long time, because I really want to show you guys analytics. Okay, so I'm going to pour through some of these slides. All right, so we can get through this. So let's look at what is good content. So I threw this out to the community on Twitter and I got some really good responses. So Andre says content is either audio, text, or video. Content is either audio, text, or video, visual video or images. What makes it good is if it resolves a problem for the person consuming it, it is either going to entertain a person, inform them, and sometimes get them to take action. But good is relative to the person consuming it. And that last part there is probably the most important thing he said, because with the digital age, it means that the consumer has enormous powers to dictate how a brand operates. So it's no longer some kind of gatekeeper, some kind of authority telling you what's good and what's tasteful. It's now you, the consumer, who dictates that. All right. Joe Marie says content is visual and written communication strategically constructed to edify, entice to action, or empower. All right. So the word empowerment come back again. Content is information compiled together to be effectively, creatively disseminated, communicated. All right. So guys, there's no one definition of content, but if I should pick one, Francis Glende would be the one I pick. Francis says content is advertorial posing as editorial. What does that mean? It means that content is advertisement, it's promotion. You're promoting yourself using content. But because you're telling a story, because you're using it as storytelling, because you're doing the soft selling, you're being responsive, you're engaging, you're communicating your value, it looks more like a story than it looks a sales pitch. And that's why he says it's posing as editorial. So it's promotions posting as social communication. That's literally how I would call content. So even though he was being cheeky, he actually hit upon something there, right? So Anna says content is media intended to convey a message, words, images, videos, or a combination. All right, guys. So these are some videos that I would have done about, some persons verbally talking about content, but I'm going to scroll through because you guys get the idea of what content is. So I want to quickly scroll through and look at types of content. All right, so we talked about categories of content earlier, categories of digital media earlier, earned, paid, owned. Now we're going to look at the types of content. So these are the different formats of content that you can create. Now there's a category for types of content too, and it's a very broad category. So you have short form content and you have long form content, and I'm going to tell you what the difference between this is. So long form content is written content, 2,000 plus words, or video or audio content that is 15 minutes or more, usually original content created internally, so it's usually owned media, right? And it may be behind a paywall or access through some kind of subscription, meaning It could be a lead magnet. Remember, we talked about lead magnet earlier. It could be a white paper on something or some kind of research paper that you have to put in your email information to be able to download. Like when you go to HubSpot, HubSpot have a ton of resources that you can download, but you have to give them your email first. Or some of their resources are premium and you have to pay $5, $10, $15, $20 for it first. All right. So this is long form content. It may be on websites. It may be on music platforms or download. I know a lot of people who create their own music and it's now on Apple Music. You can literally go and download it on Apple Music, pay for it and download it on Apple Music. All right. So this is longer form content. Now guys, there are pros and cons to the long form content. And let's look at some of the pros first. So with long form content, it builds your credibility over time. Because what you're doing is you're exercising your authority. So for us, for DDA, for Money Can I, this what we're doing here, so it's long form content. This presentation, this workshop is long form content. And the more workshops we do, the more books we write, the more videos we do, we are building our credibility. And we tend to do mostly long format content. We have a 1 hour live show on Instagram every Thursday where we talk about a different digital marketing topic or digital or Tech.9 FM. We have a podcast, we have a blog. So we mostly do long form content because we're building up brand awareness, recognition, and authority in the digital space in Jamaica and the Caribbean, right? It builds brand authority, as I said, and it helps us to improve our SEO because, and this is another reason why you shouldn't just be focused solely on social media. Social media is great, but social media alone does not help you to build up your SEO, which is your search, and it doesn't help you to optimize how you're found online, right? Well, with the new tools that they're bringing in now, yes, but it's not enough because when you're using certain keywords and stuff like that, keyword searching, meaning when you go on Google and you're searching for something, say you're looking for a plumber, you're gonna probably put plumbers in Kingston, plumbers in Nassau, plumbers in Georgetown. You're looking for plumbers in a specific area. So the keywords are plumbers and the geographic location. And these are so what Google does is once you press search, Google bots are scanning the billions of websites that's out there on the internet to try to find the most appropriate matches to the keywords that you're putting in. And that is why search engine optimization is so important. So I encourage everybody to start a blog or a podcast because it helps improve your SEO, because in your podcast, in your blogs, you're going to be using certain keywords that relate to your brands and products or your services, right? And that is what will hit in Google, especially if it's on your website or on one of these other digital platforms, right? So longer form content also helps with your SEO. Longer form content also gets more social shares, right, over time. So short form content gets you social shares quicker, but longer form content, it germinates a little bit more. And more over time, it has a longer shelf life than shorter form contents. That is, it's not memorable. Long form content tends to be a little bit more memorable for people, okay? And it can be evergreen depending on the type of content that it is. And long form content is highly repurposable. Now guys, this is one of the secrets to creating, to be consistent and frequent in your content creation. Repurposing your content. If you like Leslie, who made a 37-minute video, Leslie can take a 37-minute video and turn it into 20 or 30 pieces of content for his different platform. He can turn that into a blog on his website. He can turn that into a short promo video for his Etsy store. He can then take that promo video and put it on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter. He can then take snippets of that video, depending on which platform and what his audience segmentations are on these platforms. Then he can post different pieces of that video to promote the video to send them back to YouTube. Meaning, your Facebook audience may be different from your Instagram audience in terms of what will attract them. So if a piece of that video will be more attractive to your people on Instagram, you can make a 1-minute video for Instagram. But if another section of that video may be more attractive to your people on Facebook, then you can extract that section, post on Facebook, and tell them if they want to watch the full video, go to YouTube. That's what I mean by highly repurposable and then platform centric. You're using the bits of it that will be more relevant to that particular audience on that particular platform. All right, so let's look at some of the cons. So short form content is time consuming to make, right? It takes more resources. It takes a longer time to create a 37-minute video. It requires a longer consumer commitment because you have to sit down for 37 minutes to watch that video. That takes long. It takes a lot of time. And given how the digital space is, when the attention spans are short, people don't want to be doing all of that, right? They just want to watch a quick 5-minute thing and go. But if it's engaging and it's captive, I literally sat and watched that 37-minute video every morsel of it, and it was very entertaining for me, right? But it takes a lot more commitment. And then sometimes what ends up happening is that people will watch some of it, go and come back, or read some of the blog posts and go and come back. All right, it's not always friendly, mobile friendly, catapult friendly. It's not always mobile friendly, meaning that it's not easy to make your content responsive to mobile screens. Okay, certainly a white paper, nobody's going to sit down and read a research paper on their mobile. That's a lot, right? So that can be a downside, and it can be expensive to produce. So that's long form content. Let's quickly look at short form content. It's written content that's 1,200 plus words, or video audio content that's 5 minutes or less. It's instantly communicable. It's optimized for quick consumption, and it's mostly distributed on social media mobile platform, as well as through your emails. Okay, so let's look at some of the pros and cons. Pros: easy and cheaper to produce, because literally, and guys, I also want you to think differently about what you think content is, because when we're talking about short form content, we're talking about using your stories feature to do a behind the scenes. You're walking to work, you're setting up your workspace, your paint and your easel, you're mixing your colors and whatever. Just a quick 20-second video of that is content that people will enjoy, right? So, and that's cheap to produce. In fact, that doesn't cost you anything to produce. Instead of just turn on your video, turn on your camera on your phone. You can go live on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube. In fact, there's every platform right now you can go live on. Live videos are cheap to produce. You're literally, well, depending on the level of the video that you want to produce, but they're usually easier to produce, right? It's literally just turning on the live on Instagram, the live feature on Instagram. So it's easier, cheaper to produce. You have more platforms to distribute it on, because short form content tends to be compatible with most platforms, right? It's mobile friendly, instant engagement, and easy to share. So let's look at some of the cons. Content fatigue. Because it's easy to produce and easy to share, we have a tendency to want to share it on the same piece of content on all our platforms, and that can create something we call content fatigue, which means that if you have the same or similar audience on Instagram, so the people who follow you on Instagram are the same people who follow you on Facebook for the most part, they're seeing the exact same content. If I already like it on Instagram, I'm not gonna like it again on Facebook. It's the same content, right? So it creates content fatigue. Short form content tend to have less SEO value unless it goes viral. It tends to have less SEO value because it's easy to consume and it's not necessarily memorable, and it's not necessarily on a platform that can boost SEO. Like you're not necessarily going to put short form content on your blog or something like that, right? It's usually one-off pieces of content that you're not necessarily repeating, maybe, and it's higher production frequency. So if you're making short form content, you have to keep doing it over and over and over and over again, because it's not as repurposable as short form content. All right, so guys, I wanted to quickly look at advertising and promotions, because I think this is important, and I see the time, so I'm going to go through as quickly as possible and try and see if I can wrap that up in 10 minutes. Okay, so there's a difference between boosted ads. Guys, I want you to go and find this video, and he does an excellent job at explaining the difference between boosted posts versus ads. And the difference between the two is important to understand if you are trying to do paid media on it. And let's just hear a little bit of what he has to
this
say.
video, we're going to talk about the difference. Boost post button. You choose an audience to target, how much you want to spend, and for how long, and you hit go. After a short review process to ensure that your post meets the Facebook advertising terms of service, your post will start populating the newsfeed of your target audience. But there is another way to promote your brand on Facebook that provides a number of unique advantages over just boosting posts. They're called Facebook ads. Facebook ads are different for a number of reasons, but notably because they provide a level of targeting and placement that boosting posts simply does not.
All right, we're going to stop it there. So boosting posts, you do get a lot of options with where you want to boost it, who you want to see it. But paid ads, especially on social media, because we're talking about social media now, when we're talking about ads on social media, we're automatically talking about Facebook, because out of any other platform, when I tell you that Facebook have the sauce, okay, Facebook have the sauce. Facebook can tell you what your granny did on this date at this time, and where she go on the internet, and what she do, and what she like and what she don't like, and what's her favorite color. And if listen, social media Facebook can tell you about yourself, things you didn't know. You're like, oh really, I didn't know that. Social media, Facebook in particular, is very aggressive at collecting data from its users. And guys, that's one of the reasons why social media platforms are free. Social media companies have more data than you than the CIA. They have a whole heap of information about you because we freely give them access to our information. All right. So with paid ads on Facebook especially, it's very detailed. You can get very granular about who you're targeting with these ads. They have categories like interests, demography, location, last search thing. Yeah, you have so many different categories on a Facebook ad that it can take up to an hour to create a good ad. Okay, and all sort of metrics that you can use when you're doing the ads. All right, but you have organic ways of promoting your brand on social media too. And earlier we were talking about cross-platforming when talking about the hashtag on our timeline. That was us cross-platforming. And cross-platforming is a promotional strategy where brands collaborate, whether directly or indirectly, because I'm collaborating with these community members indirectly. They didn't ask me. It's not something we agreed on. I just wanted to share this stuff because I thought it was cool, and I think this is something that I want people to know. So I'm cross-platforming, meaning I'm sharing somebody else's content on my page, and then they're sharing my content on their page. So it's literally crossing platforms. Cross-platform could also mean that you're sharing a piece of content on one of your social media page, so maybe YouTube, to another social media page like Facebook or Instagram. So you can have internal cross-platforming where you're sharing different pieces of content on your different. So for instance, you have a blog. So let's take Digital Jamaica. We have a blog and we have a podcast. We have a new podcast episode coming out. I'm going to share teasers from that podcast to my social media platforms to help to build awareness around this new episode. And then I'm going to send people to the podcasting platform. I have a new blog and I'm sharing teasers from the blog to social media to get people to go to the blog. That's also cross-platforming. Or I can have community members share it on their platforms for me. That's also cross-platforming. So it can be internal and it can be external. All right, so we have also what we call the community spread. Now, Jessica in the Kitchen is a popular Jamaican blogger, and Jessica in the Kitchen went viral over the summer because Jessica made whipped coffee, and she made it for her blog. She has a blog called Jessica in the Kitchen, and she posts recipes all the time on the blog, and she uses her social media to really send traffic to her blog. So she did that and it went viral. It started a whole craze. Now, this was right at the top when COVID just started hitting the Caribbean, and COVID really just started coming out. It was like early May stuff. And she did this. And let me tell you, when I said it popped off, millions of people were tagging her. Sorry, millions of people were seeing it because people were tagging her. Followers were tagging her. Popular celebrity accounts were doing it and tagging her. Everyday regular people were doing, her community showed up for her and spread that piece of content so far that it to date it has been one of her most popular pieces of content. And that's the power of your community. Your community can actually make you go viral. Okay, so the other one too is brand collaborations. So digital disruption agencies collaborating with Catapult and Kingston Creative to bring you this workshop. So that's brand collaborations. So 2 or more brands team up to create a product offering that works across their combined audience. So this is a good look for DDA, because DDA is now doing training with Catapult. Catapult is our brand name. Kingston Creative is our brand name. And as a small entity being able to work with these big brand names, there are repercussions for me, positive repercussions for me. So this is what we call brand collaborations. And brand collaborations on social media is a instant massive boost to brand awareness and recognition on social media platforms, and to followership as well, because we inevitably find that after every workshop our followership goes up on our digital platforms. Okay, and of course, we had paid partnerships, which I told you about earlier, using influencers. Influencers are making a comeback because of COVID. If people thought, first of all, if you thought influencer marketing was foolishness, then you don't know what you're doing on social media. If you thought influencers are annoying or this, then you really don't understand how this thing works. Influencers are digital brand ambassadors. It's the exact same thing. And what makes influencers so powerful is because they have one thing you don't, which is access to a specific audience, an audience that you want to get in front of. And again, with the word of mouth, if you are a community, if I have this community, so Siobhan with the Proud Jamaicans, he has 300,000 people in his community. If you are trying to get through to the diaspora, and that's the community you want to reach to, Siobhan effectively is the gatekeeper to the Jamaican diaspora on Instagram. You need to get to Siobhan and get Siobhan to put you on his platform. So that's what influencership does. It gets you into some very private, some very niche spaces, and you'll be surprised how helpful that can be. And you come in as a brand to tell me how wonderful you are. Yeah, yawn. But my favorite person on social media, my favorite brand, my favorite social media profile telling me that you're awesome, I'm going to listen even more. So that's why influencers are so important. All right, guys? So let's quickly look at analytics. So I'm speeding things through now, so I hope you guys understand it. I'll take your questions after. I just need to finish the slides, and this is the last set. Okay, so analytics now, guys, it can be a headache. It's like brain explode, right? Because there's so much data, so much information, you're not sure what to do. But guys, if you are a brand or a business on social media, you're not paying attention to your analytics, then you're not going to get very far on social media. There's a reason why they're giving you data. They're literally saying, hey, look at how you're performing and use that to help you perform better. Okay, so you need to take advantage of it. So social media analytics refers to the approach of collecting data, evaluating that data, and then making decisions based on that data. All right, so let's look at it. So we're going to break down analytics. Now, there are certain analytics that are more important than others. We call them metrics. So if you ever say metrics, I do mean analytics, or I mean data. It's just interchangeable. Metrics, data, analytics, same word, same meaning interchangeably, right? So let's look at some of the metrics you could care about. Not all data are created equally. Not all data is important. Not all metrics really give you much of anything. So the data that matters are the ones that accurately indicate how your content is performing. Is it, whether it's organic content or paid content, how is it performing? When you do a paid ad on Facebook, Facebook gives you a whole lot of data. How many clicks, how many likes, where did they go, what did they do, what did they comment? But they give you a whole lot of data, right? So Facebook was doing an experiment and it started in Australia, where they were hiding your likes because this thing causes people anxiety. Social media causes anxiety because you get so caught up, you overthink it sometimes. Oh my God, I don't know what to post, I don't know what to say, and it gives you so much anxiety because you post one thing and you're like this. You want to see who comment, when did they comment, what did they say, how are they? You kill yourself. Stress yourself, give yourself a heartache. So Facebook was like, okay, we're going to hide the likes because what we're trying to communicate here is that likes are not important on our platform. And if Facebook is telling you that likes is not what is important, why are you killing yourself up over likes? All likes do is make your thing look pretty, you know. But there are more important analytics that you should be paying attention to, like reach. So these are some terms that you need to know. These are analytics data metric terms that you need to know, right? So reach is a number of people who saw your post, and I give you a little snippet over here. So you see where it says reach here? So in this one post, it reached 955 persons. 955 persons saw it, look on it, yeah it. Yes? And then, so it calculates up, reach looks at a couple things. Sorry, let me go back. It looks at total reach, organic reach, and paid reach. So if you look up here at the 955, it says 955 accounts reach, 32% weren't following Digital Jamaica. It means that they're not my followers, right? There could be ghost followers, because the ghost followers, I think these are people who would stalk your page, but they will never follow your page, okay? Most of them tend to be your competitors, right? So 32% of them were not on your page. It might be that you ended up in the on the explore page. Instagram don't tell you that you're on the explore page. You just happen to reach there, maybe because some anomaly, something in their algorithm decided that you should be there. And it's really mathematical calculations. Maybe how quickly persons reacted to your post, what the reactions were, how much people share it, how much people save it. And this is one analytics that people don't look at. People don't look at, so if you look at here, it says from home, from hashtags, from profile, other. So they actually break it down to tell you where these people are coming from. So other can mean explore page, and other can mean saved. How much people are saving your content on social media. All right. So impressions is the other term that you should know. If you look at this graphic, you will see this, the 16,256. That's the total number of impressions. Now, impressions includes your reach because it's the number of times your post has been displayed. So where was it displayed? Was it displayed on Facebook? Was it displayed on Instagram? Was it in the explore? Was it on the explore page? Did it show up in the messenger? Did it show up in stories? It's the number of times your posts have been displayed, and your posts will keep being sent out to people, sent out across these different internetworks of the social media platform. So it could really show up anywhere if you don't put certain restrictions on where it can show up, right? So it looks at, did it show up on somebody's profile? Did it show, it looks at where, profile, hashtags, and others, the explore page save. So this is what it takes into account when it talks about impressions. It takes into account whether persons were coming to your profile. Did they come to your profile based on the hashtags you use, or did you show up on their explore page? Did they save your content? So impressions take into account all of that, all right? So engagement, it's a number of times someone has interacted or engaged with your post. Interacted, that extra line wasn't necessary. So it's a number of times somebody has interacted with your post. So if you look at this tweet activity, so you see my impressions. So times people saw this tweet on Twitter. So 7,337 times, yeah? Total engagements, 1,236. So that includes retweets, comments, it includes views on the post, it includes all of these things, and that was done 1,236 times. Media engagement, number of clicks on your media counted across videos, vines, gifs, and images. So if I had a link in that content, in that caption on Twitter, how many people clicked that link? And people clicked that link, I got 1,029 engagements on that, right? So that is what we're looking at. We're talking about engagement rate, the different types of interactions. So engagement rates, the number of engagements divided by the number of impressions. Now that's one way of calculating it. The thing that you have to understand about social media is that people it's still fairly new, so there's no standardized way, because some people calculate engagement rates differently. They look at a percentage of your they look at it's your followers divided by number of engagements and number of impressions. People have different ways of calculating it, but I think the most standard way so far is the number of engagements divided by the number of impressions. That's one way, and then they look at that number against your follower number. So if you should happen upon a profile and they have 70,000 followers, but under one post they only have 30 likes and 3 comments, then something is off. Their engagement rate is not matching, and that could be fake. Could be that they're using fake followers, or their content is not performing because there's something wrong with it. It's not connecting with people for some reason. All right. Other terms you should know: actions per page. Says actions taken after your content is viewed. So in Facebook tell you the total clicks, total reactions, comments, and shares and stuff. So if you put a link, for instance, you put a link to something in Facebook tells you what actions people take after they view that content and if they actually click on your link. So if you have a CTA, or what we call a call to action, like buy now, book now, link in bio, whatever, all of these are CTAs. Facebookers actually can tell you if people actually did what you asked them to do. So URL clicks, follows, shares, saves, message, book, call, all of these are actions that you can take. So vanity metrics is also a term you need to know, because we talked about it earlier. People spend too much time focusing on how much people following them and not focusing on the quality of the content that they're putting out. So vanity metrics is metric that makes you feel good without giving you any real website. And why it is bad is because it can be manipulated. Again, fake followers. It doesn't equate to value, because look how much people not interacting with you that is following you. And it's not a good indicator of value, meaning it doesn't mean that your content is good. Not because you have 500,000 followers mean you're making good content, right? And I had this video up, and it doesn't accurately determine your growth either, right? All right. So I have this video, and this is a lady called Yannick. Yannick Curvy Diva. She's a Jamaican personality, and Yannick has what we call a thirst trap account. And thirst trap accounts tend to be accounts that post provocative content that is usually not conservative, because you can see her pose here, right? And the response that it usually gets, the response that it usually gets sometimes is not valuable. A lot of times is not valuable, right? So let's quickly look at the response this piece of content. So social shaming, somebody with a thirsty comment. If you scroll through, spam comments. So she has a lot of spam comments in her comment section sometimes, and another more spam comment. So guys, you can have a lot, and when we calculated her engagement, what we found was that her page is actually underperforming, because she has over 1 million followers and she did not have commensurate comments, likes, and shares on her content. Because again, most of the people who come in there to comment is either going to be slut shaming her, or going to be trying to get in her pants, or going to drop spam comment because it's a hot comment section, so they want people to see the stuff, so they spam her comment section. All right, guys, so it doesn't indicate value. So she have a lot of followers, sure, but does she have, what is the quality of the followers? So you have to think about the quality of your followers versus the quantity of followers. Okay, so guys, we're at the end, and I'm going to quickly run through the auditing. So now that you've learned all these new things about social media, how are you going to now revive, go in there and fix certain things that's happening to your social media account? You need to do what we call a SWOT. Now, don't worry, you're going to actually get this extract so you can go through it. So look at how you're scheduling your posts. How do you schedule content on your platforms? Are you using the analytics? Because Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all of them Instagram and Facebook particularly tells you when your audience is most likely to be on. So are you posting when the people who communicate with you the most is most likely to be on? Because what happens is that posts stack on top of each other. So when I come out of Instagram and go back in, I'm usually seeing the last set of content that was posted. However, when I swipe up, it's actually like it's literally we call it. It's from latest to oldest is what I'm trying to say. There's a word that's not coming to me. So it's usually ordered from latest to oldest. That's why you see when you're scrolling, it says new post. You see that notification pop up that says new post, and when you click it, it refreshes. So because of that, you need to be careful that you're posting when people can actually see you and your content don't become stale, because if it's stale content, you're going to be lower down on their feed, and what you really want to do is be at the top of their feed when they log into that account, right? So the double means work. How long is it taking you to produce content, and why is it taking you so long to produce content? Maybe because you're overthinking it, maybe because you don't know what type of content, because you have not identified your brand descriptors. Because once you have your brand descriptors, it can help you to figure out the type of content that you should be creating, right? Opportunities. What are the top 4 areas that needs improvement in your content? Is it that the quality of your content is not good? You're making videos but the video quality is low? Is it that you're not posting frequently enough? Is it that your caption needs help, you're not using the appropriate hashtags? You need to take some time to look back at your account and look through your analytics. Your analytics would actually tell you if your hashtags are working or not, based on how much people, how much impressions, how many reach you're getting from your hashtags. Okay. And the last one is tools. What are the go-to tools you use to create content? Now on this note, guys, we have actually created a content planner and a content creation scheduler, which means that you can schedule out how you're creating contents. There's a section where you can put tools. There's a section where you can assign tasks. All of that we've created, and you will also get a copy of that. We're giving it to you for free as our gift for participating in this workshop, guys. And that's it. We're at the end, and I cannot believe I ran through all of that in 15 minutes, but I did. Yay me. All right, guys. So now we're going quickly into our question and answer segment. Let me stop sharing. Now it's your turn to ask me questions. And guys, I'm only going to spend 10 more minutes and go through any questions that you may have. But guys, if you didn't get a chance to ask me any questions, jump over to our Instagram page, digital.jamaica, and jump in the DMs. Use the DMs. Ask questions. I will respond with a nice voice note for you, right? Because I'm using the features now, and I will respond with a voice note. Or you can join our Facebook group. It's called DDA Masterclass. You can join the Facebook group. Now the group is new. The Facebook group is new, but we're slowly adding content and stuff to it, but it's somewhere where you can ask questions and we'll respond either privately if you want it to be private, or we'll respond in the group as well. So Monique, do we have any questions?
I would have fielded most of them that came in. I also asked about minutes to 4 for if persons had any questions to put it in the Q&A. Okay, we have one. How do we go about reaching the audience we desire to target?
How do you what?
Go about reaching the audience we desire to target.
Content. It's the content. You have to be creating content that they would be interested in. And then when you create that content, remember I talk about the 30 minutes a day. Spend 30 minutes a day engaging with the people that you want to engage with you. Reciprocity. Go and find them. Follow hashtags. On Digital Jamaica, we're following several hashtags. Follow hashtags, because when you follow hashtags, you're going to see the persons who are using that hashtag. Now, if that hashtag is relevant to your content, to your business, to your brand, follow the hashtags. Then when you see a notification, when you scroll through your timeline and you will see the hashtag show up as like in your feed. Click on it and go and look at this person because they showed up because you're following that content. Or I'm going to quickly show you something else that you can do. This is a pro tip now. Okay, this is tips people pay me for, man. All right. All right. Okay. So say for instance, I want people who are small businesses to follow me. I'm going to type in hashtag Caribbean. I'll type to save my life. Caribbean small business. Now that's less than 100 posts, but fine. So if you look here, I hope you guys can see. Can you see, Monique?
Not clearly, as in the images or whatever.
Okay.
Well,
So if you when you search a hashtag in Instagram, okay, it's gonna take you to a page that looks like this, and you can click the follow button to follow the hashtag. But then what I want to show you is these two sections here. One says top and one says recent. Now top are the persons who are the top posters of this hashtag. They're the ones who are consistently posting this, using this hashtag. And recent are the persons who were the latest ones to post the hashtag. Now, top and recent are two different things, because you could have top people who have not used the hashtag in a while, but what you really need to looking for is a recent people. And in fact, you can be scroll through the two. And guys, it's a part of hashtag strategy here. And if you should go to the blog, if you should go to thedigitaljamaica.com, we actually did a blog post where it's at the blog post, The Digital Jamaica.
So as Kadia is bringing that up, Nancy, this is actually answering your question. A lot of persons were asking the hashtag and what's a good hashtag, what Kadia is talking about now.
Yeah, I'm going to show you hashtags now, guys. I'm going to do a quick crash course hashtag. All right. So guys, let me share my screen with you again, because I want to show you this hashtag thing we have going on here. So I did an extract from my upcoming book. I did an extract from our upcoming Instagram guide. Can you see my screen now, Monique?
It's loading. All right. Yep, up now.
So this is our blog. This is our Digital Jamaica blog, right? So this is the extract here. It's called the Digital Jamaica Guide to Hashtags, right? Everything you need to know about this powerful tool. All right. So this is, again, this is an extract from our Instagram guide that's going to be available in November. Now, I literally went through, and I posted this in January. I literally went through everything that you need to know about hashtag, how hashtags started, popular hashtags, what are they good for, types of hashtags. And I literally, no, there's no such thing as types of hashtags, but I really went through and I did some research and I categorized them. So you have general hashtags, industry hashtags, branded hashtags, hashtag National Roast Day for Wendy's, that's a branded hashtag. Geographical hashtags. You also have community hashtags. That is a part of geographical hashtags. And I'm telling you, literally telling you how to use them here. How test and tracking, test and tweak. Hashtag formula. I give you some hashtag formulas there from some popular accounts, and I gave you a closeout. Now, this is, again, this is an extract from the guide to show you. This is a whole chapter in the guide by itself. Hashtags are so important because hashtags are like echolocators. So imagine you are in a whole sea of content, because that's what social media is, a whole sea of content. If you are not putting echolocators on your content so people can find your content, then nobody's going to find it, because they're going to be distracted by all this other content that is happening, that is out there, right? So hashtags are echolocators, because what hashtag is, it's metadata, like small pieces of data that is being collected and grouped to make it easier to access that data. So when you search hashtag love, which is one of the most popular hashtags of all time, when you search hashtag love, what you're going to find is a collection of content that uses that hashtag, right? So it's a collection of information, of data, of people and content that has used this hashtag. And that is how you can make people find your content on social media. So hashtags are like keywords you usually use on your websites and stuff. So hashtags are like keywords for social media posts. It's what you use to make people find you on social media, and that is why they are so important. All right, guys, so I went through
Okay, just as a point to note, guys, I dropped the link to the blog article that Kadia is looking at now,
Okay.
so you don't have to try to gather all the information now.
Yeah.
Um, I will say, guys, of course, we could not exhaust all of social media or all of digital.
We literally haven't even scratched the surface.
But I think that you guys would have gotten a lot of value from today's session. Sharing with you guys, we're really encouraging you to actually connect with us. Katie, I would have mentioned our DDA Masterclass group that we have on Facebook. We invite you to join because that's where we can go through some more information and we can do some more one-on-one, and we've opened up the forum for you, the participants from Catapult, to join us there. I'm going to deal with this one last question that is in the Q&A because it's been in there for a few, and going to close out the session. But guys, please feel free to connect with us. I'll send the links to our platforms for you to connect with us post this workshop. Also, someone had asked a question with regards to getting materials. I answered in the Q&A. Kingston Creative is going to send you information regarding replay. And from us, the DDA, we will send you the worksheets that we've promised you by Friday. Okay, so we will send you that information by Friday. So now over to the last question and we turn over. Guys, it's also important that you stay on if you can, because we're going to do the feedback form and the short quiz. If whether or not you do the quiz will change what type of certificate you get. So we really encourage you to stay so that you can get your full certificate. So we have Lorraine. She says, I'm still fussing a bit with switching to a creator's account on Instagram. Can a creator's account still be private? I know it's bad, but my personal account is private. It has been quite a journey for me, doing spiritual sharings, growing to my own movement with art in general. I always had a lot of private sharings coming from my life and family, and thinking back about certain content, I'm not sure I feel comfortable with everybody seeing that. Just want to make sure I know what I'm doing here before changing it.
I don't understand any of that. I didn't.
Okay, so I will respond. I will say, Lorraine.
Because Lorraine, you're not supposed to be sharing personal content on your business page unless you are a personal brand, and you can limit certainly how much of your personal. I don't know Jackie Aina. I don't know her business like that. I know what she wants me to know. I know that she has a fiance, and I know that she lives in a nice house, but I don't know nothing else about her. You can limit how much information you're putting out there as a personal brand, but you cannot be selling something. And guys, this gonna hurt your feelings, but tough. You cannot be selling something and have a private page. I don't care how much it misaligns with your chakra and your spiritual essence, then don't go on social media. I'm dead serious, and it sounds harsh, but we're talking about basics here. You cannot be a brand. You cannot be selling an idea, a service, a product, your work, and want to be private on these platforms. How are people going to access you? How are people going to see you? So you're creating all this fabulous content that nobody sees? I mean, that just doesn't work. I'm sorry. Was it Jackie? I'm Lorraine. I'm very sorry. But then social media is not the platform for you. And that's actually okay. You might be email, maybe a better option for you because emails are private. So email may be a better option for you, but you cannot be wanting to put yourself out there and you're going to private your page. That just doesn't work.
What I will say, Lorraine, is possibly differentiating the two pages. So having something for your business and that you share personally.
Yes, which means me. Are you guys still seeing my screen, Monique?
No, and keeping those areas separate. Go and bring it up.
Yes, because I did Sorry, Monique. I'm sorry.
Keeping those two separate, and what the key or the essence in what Kadia was saying a while ago was the fact that you don't have to share everything. Somebody like a Gary V shares content all day, every day. I've never seen Gary V's wife. I don't know what his kids look like. I don't know where in the States he lives. Well, we probably could have figured which state he's in, right? And stuff. But in terms of your personal, what goes deep in there, you control 1,000% what it is that you share.
Are you seeing my screen now?
Divide it. Yes.
Okay, so I did this post called Are You an Anxious Creative? How to Unstuck Yourself and Get More Done. Lorraine should probably read that. And if you're struggling with conversations like that, read that post, because I tell you some of the things I do to create content. But the post I want to show you is this one. It's called the Platform Equation, Spreading Your Brand Across Platforms. And I bring this post up because I find that a lot of people are struggling with the same thing Lorraine was talking, well, same thing Monique brought up. And again, this is also an extract from our Instagram 101 guide, the platform equation. People are struggling with this because should I have a separate profile, separate from my business profile? But if the business is me, if I'm a personal brand, then does that make sense to have like a personal profile and then a brand profile? In this, guys, I go through the different types of approaches that you can use when you have either multiple brands under one big umbrella, or you want to try to separate out your brands. So Monique, can you drop that link as well, or do you want me to drop it since I'm here?
Yes, please drop it, like how you're there.
So I'll just drop that link, guys, so you can go and read that post. But I didn't mean to sound harsh, and you notice how Monique finessed it. Monique is the finesser in chief, because I tend to be a lot more direct, and Monique have to go in and then soften the edges, you know. So I didn't mean any disrespect, but we're talking seriousness here. You cannot be on social media and promoting something and private in your page. It's just not gonna work. If Ivone, is it Evane says, my hand is raised for a question. Can you bring her on?
Hold on. Evany, you can unmute yourself.
Oh, so Trevor says, I believe Lorraine was trying to make her personal account into a professional account.
That's what I was coming to talk about.
Given that the existing content there was personal, perhaps. Okay. Well, I didn't understand that.
Yeah, that's what I was coming to say, because I think you may have misunderstood what Lorraine was saying. And honestly, Kadia, it very harsh.
I wasn't reading the chat. It says it wasn't a business before, it has grown into that. Oh, okay. Well, maybe Lorraine, you can practice archiving, going through and archiving content that you think is extremely personal. You can just go through and archive those out so nobody sees that, and then just start consistently posting.
And also, may I add, I was going to suggest to her, because I have a personal page and I have a business page. She can have both if she wants, and push her business page and keep her personal page private if she wants. She's pushing a business. She's pushing her art or whatever it is. You have your business page. You tailor it to how you want persons to see your brand, your story, and you push that, and you still have your personal things to yourself. That's for your circle, because that is important to her.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Ebony. Was there a question though? Because it says, I have a question.
I was gonna ask what Lorraine was saying specifically, but they wrote in the group, so that's why I said, oh, that's what was going on. So I got it.
All right. Well, my apologies, Lorraine. I misunderstood. Correct, thank you. The trade-off is also true though too. Right, so I misunderstood the question, Lauren, because believe it or not, I get a lot of people coming to me asking me how to do that with their business accounts. You cannot private your business account, it just doesn't work. So I thought Lorraine was saying that some spiritual reason why she wants to private her business account. I was like, well, that then social media is not going to be for you there. But if it's a private account, Lorraine, that has turned into a business, kudos. Go through and just use the archiving tool. So if you go on Instagram, for instance, and I'll just show you quickly. If you go on Instagram and you go on your content page, now this is DDA's content page. If you notice, there's three little buttons up in the corner here. When you click on it, you get the option to archive. It's not going to show up here. If you click on it, it gives you the options to archive. So you can click archive, Lorraine. So and guys, even if it's not a personal page, even if it's a business page, if certain content that you post in the past didn't perform well, instead of deleting them, which can be problematic in terms of your data, and the platform can think that you're not being honest and they'll penalize you for it sometimes. Instead of deleting the content, you can just go in and archive it, which means it takes it out of the feed and into a private archive folder. So that's something you can do. Okay. Trevor said, love your zeal. And guys, I'm very direct and straightforward, and people can be offended by that time, but I don't see why I should come here and fluff things for you. You did not come here for fluff. So I don't do fluff. All right. So I hope that works. Archiving sounds good. Yes, Lorraine, go through and archive the things that you don't want people to see. And this is something you guys should practice regularly. Okay. Guys, we really have to go. Everywhere closing up. We're under curfew. I have to go. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll be sending out those resources to you. Please to give us some time to do that. So maybe give us until next week to get those resources to you. Feel free to join the Facebook group. Feel free to join the Facebook group and to link us on social media, Digital Jamaica, on Instagram, Digital Jamaica, on Facebook, and Digital Disruption Agency on both those platforms as well. If you're on LinkedIn, you should be on LinkedIn. You should definitely be on LinkedIn. Whether you're an artist or not, you should be on LinkedIn. Then you can find us over there at Digital Disruption Agency as well. Thank you, everyone.
And on that note,
on that long note,
we want to say what an interesting.
Deandra, please don't go deleting out the content, not all at once, because it might trigger the algorithm to penalize your account. Don't do that. Don't do a mass delete of content. Archive it first, then delete from your archive. Okay, I'm done.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Kadia. What a lot of energy. I am telling you, I told everyone they were in for an exciting session, and I'm sure that Kadia, supported by Monique, did not disappoint at all, right? So lots there that was shared, and I'm happy that, well, based on the comments, persons are quite happy as well. Remember now, we have a couple of things we need to do before we leave, before we do our final wrap up. But just before we do, I just want to remind us of the other sessions that or courses that we have in the digital creative training. We have protecting and benefiting from your intellectual property, project management for creatives, managing your money, e-commerce and online sales. Yesterday we did a session in digital marketing for creatives, and we have another session on this course as well. We have seats available. Please, if you haven't already done so, please go over to our website and register now. I have placed the links for both the feedback on the course, as well as a link for you to do the quiz. I encourage you to do that just now. So, you know, because we're meant to be wrapping up. We only have another few minutes before we close out the session. And as was mentioned before, it's so important that we get your feedback, and it's so important that you do the quiz as well.